Violence. This was a ritual. A page of text written with a typewriter. Someone's been watching us.
How do you run from an idea? From a story that lives in your head? I need to escape this nightmare.
Wakes as a story will change reality around us. Why are we written into the story? I brought you the Heart Witch. Show me the terror.
Show me the terror!
FBI, drop the knife!
I can't find my way back home since I fell down this rabbit hole.
Not sponsored, but definitely pick up Alan Wake 2 because I've been playing that shit all day. Stone drunk as fuck. Welcome to Late Night Talks. If you expected some kind of decorum or something, that's not what we do here. So before I get started, I have a special guest who I'm going to be bringing in first because the other two people you've seen fucking tons of. But let me welcome first on the show tonight for some in-depth reporting. The man's got a scoop on a topic that I'm going to do later because you never start with the best topic first. You always start with the other one. So I keep the people interested, keep them coming back. So our first guest here that we have on Late Night Talks is Mr. ChillMonger. Welcome.
Lately, I've been the Jonathan Majors monger because that's the special topic he's talking about, everyone. I've been watching this case, every development, and I've been watching out who's been covering it. Very disappointed.
Dude, I've been trapped in the Halloween season. If you guys didn't know my intro, check it out. I'm gonna be doing my morning kills. There'll be a special edition. I've done a couple leading up to this, but it'll be my top 10 worst Halloween movies, and then I'm gonna do my top 10 best Halloween type movies of this year, horror movies. So check that out. And speaking of a horror movie, let's bring on our second guest, Justin Proper. Look at how horrifying that fucking beard is. Welcome, Justin Proper.
I'm looking at myself for the screen for the first time, and I realized I made a terrible mistake.
There were a lot of mistakes made.
There's a lot of mistakes, including being on this show. What the fuck am I doing here?
I don't know. I asked myself that when I get awesome. I'm like, what the fuck are we all doing here? And the one who could tell us, the co-captain, the second in charge, the one who debatably keeps me in line, the man, the myth, the legend, the bear killer himself, Mr. Pop Culture PB. I love how you threw yourself in second.
I thought for sure. Like, I seen him pop up on the screen. I was like, fucking A, we're finally getting that Morbius 2 teaser.
Oh my god.
And it was, what is Alan Wake supposed to be some spin-off of Morbius? I don't understand.
No, Alan Wake is a show, or it's a game I've waited for 13 years for the sequel for by Remedy Entertainment. They did Max Payne 2, Quantum Break.
I was going to ask you why, like you're saying you're playing an intro. I thought it was an intro to your show, not this like trailer for a game. I was like, you are the laziest fucking prick I've ever seen. Playing a trailer, a random ass trailer that you're gonna get claimed for. Now it's so, why do that to yourself?
I've been watching the show lately, Billions, and I've realized that if you want something, as Axelrod would say, you got to take it.
And now you just admitted that on camera. This is why I
YouTube
left
hasn't taken that fucking Sniper Wolf off for
tricks
stealing
like
shit.
you.
They're not gonna come after me. I'm too little. I'm just big enough to be claimed, but I'm not big enough for YouTube to either A, give a shit, or B, to be in that ground where they're trying to weed out the people they don't like, so they just fucking take your channel. I'm just the asshole.
He was talking about being
assholes.
big enough for YouTube.
Yeah, well, the thing
I love
is,
you, YouTube. By the way, don't fucking penalize me.
they already took away they took away your monetization, and now this company is going to be getting all the money from this stream that you wouldn't even be making.
You know what? Good. I support the independent studios such as
Good way to
Remedy
put it.
that are still doing
Good way to
great
look at
creative
it.
works and not being fucked over by the fucking big gaming market. We need a Call of Duty fucking 16.
No.
Chill knows what I'm talking about. That
I remember the Call of Duty days in PlayStation 3. That was fun. That was back when you didn't have to pay for online. Thank you,
Oh
Xbox
yeah,
Live.
I remember. Yeah, I remember that in PS2 days.
God, we're all
PS2
dating ourselves
days.
here.
Oh shit.
They're like, what? There was no online play? What madness do you speak of? Yeah, you had to go to your fucking friend's house. You had to hook in a controller, or you got two systems and hooked them in the same fucking room, and that was
So
your
you're talking
online
about
play.
a decade before what Chill was talking about.
Well, I mean, I might be slightly.
ChillMonger's like, we will go back to the PS3. We'll play some Modern Warfare 2. Boom! Fucking amazing. Zod was like, you gotta remember to bring your multi-tap, or else you can't all play on the PlayStation together.
PlayStation 3. But now that getting past Call of Duty, they don't even number them anymore. Now it's like Modern Warfare or Desert Warfare. They don't even
some subtitle.
Yeah.
It's not the same. No, they
any game that just every game that does a yearly release, like NBA 2K or Madden, they're the same thing over again and over again with an updated roster.
Oh, yeah.
I have to take some years off before I rejoin. So I probably would enjoy a Call of Duty because I haven't played one in years. But I just,
sure.
There has to be a good one that comes around, and no one played it for the story or anything. No one gave a shit.
Oh,
about
fuck
that.
you! I played it for the story.
Yeah.
My boy Price in Modern Warfare.
You're the only one.
Price
Price
was the reason I wanted to be in Spec Ops, because I saw Price and I was like, I want to chomp on a cigar. I want to fucking jump through a window in a fucking suit and kill somebody and light a fucking match on their dead body. Now, I cannot confirm or deny if I did any of these things, but I can tell you I did smoke the cigar. Anyways.
No. The last time anybody played a shooter for the story was the original Battlefront 2, and you were playing as the 501st. That's a story you want to play right
now. I love Battlefront 2, but I would only play like the heroes level on Tatooine and just.
That's great fun. That's great fun. But I'm just talking people who played for the story. That's the last time you played a shooter for the story. They don't make story. It's like, let's throw some. We'll put you in a desert, then we'll put you in a jungle, and we'll put you in the frozen tundra, but it's not going to be Lambeau Field, so I don't want to fucking be there anyways.
Speaking of, let's welcome these great people that we have. People aren't used to
I thought you were going to say, speaking of people
anymore.
who don't want to be here anyways. Welcome
let's introduce all of the people that we have held captive in our awesome stream starting off so far. We have Killy Chow. Welcome, Killy. Good to see you. We have KH. How are you, Karen? Good to see you. And South Florida Drifter. How are you? Great to see you.
Try again. Try again.
What do you mean?
Drifter is not spelt with a T. It's a drifter. It's thrifter. Get it straight.
Whatever. Sometimes the New York comes out in me. And do you want to read that comment, Justin? Because it's for you. It's so classic.
Oh, yay. Fandom zone. Oh, crap, Justin!
I love how he can even prop himself up when that's a joke. What a dick. No, by the way,
that's how I read it. That was beautiful. Thank you, South Florida Thrifter.
So,
yeah.
Fuck you, Justin. I know you did that shit on purpose. He perfectly pronounced it as he does. That's why we call him Justin Proper. Depending on the day, he might be improper. But today, I wanted to jump right into it because I'm super excited. I know I haven't done some Phantom Zone in a
Now
while.
is the time. Now is the time to jump in with your K-pop.
But but I just before do some boring shit, wanted to thank everybody. I've been focusing a lot on my Halloween and horror side of things. I've been having a great time covering that, and I haven't released my list because this Sunday I'm going to see the last movie that could be a perspective either top 10 worst horror movie or
whoa, hold
top 10
on.
best horror movie.
Oh, horror movie.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking best movies. I was like, the Marvels don't come out till the 10th.
I'm going to see Five Nights at Freddy's, and I'm super excited. I heard if you are really big into the lore, you'll enjoy the movie. If not, you might not. So I'm about 50-50. I've seen the reviews. This seems like a movie you just go and watch, and you're going to judge on your own. So I'm glad about that. Of course, the critics fucking hate it because they hate anything that gives fans what they want. So fuck them. I don't know who still uses Rotten Tomato as an aggregate. What a fucking joke. Like Jesus Christ, do you really? They actually gave fucking Secret Invasion a high score on there, or higher than I would have expected. It's sad. Like,
Secret Invasion was weird.
Secret Invasion was fucking terrible. I see Daenerys. I expect a motherfucking dragon. There was no fucking dragon. I was like, what a goddamn waste.
She is the fucking dragon. She's spewing fire out of her fists.
No, man. I wanted to see what was her big dragon's name? Draconis?
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. I feel like you're going the complete wrong direction because you say, "Oh, well, I see Daenerys," and I was like, "Well, what I see because of what she is wearing, I saw Sarah Connor," and then she went around whooping ass, and I was like, "Yeah, that's the girl I remember."
I'm not gonna lie. Like, everybody made a big deal about her being Sarah Connor. Look. If you're going to draft somebody to be Sarah Connor, like a newer, updated version of Sarah Connor, I couldn't think of somebody who is not annoying, pretty decent looking, and has already done action shit and has that kind of thing under her belt. Like, I don't understand the hate for that movie. Me personally, I didn't have a problem with Terminator Genesis. I thought it was the least sucky of all the sequels, to be quite honest.
Well.
It didn't do anything egregiously
until
bad.
now. Well, you could say it's the least sucky of all the sequels. Well, like, the worst sequel is the one that just, it's not good.
Yeah, the worst sequel is the one that fucking kills John Connor in the first fucking 5 minutes.
Oh my goodness, if I was in a movie theater, I would have walked out and demanded my money back, or I would have gone a ticket to another movie. I did not give that movie a chance after that. I was so infuriated. There was no reason to be doing this silliness. Like, what made you think that was a good idea, that it was going to go over well? You know damn well you're going to lose half the audience and they're going to walk out. No wonder it failed. James Cameron, you know what? Good for him with his little Blue People movie. Like, stick with that shit. I don't watch it, but other people clearly do, whoever they are. But don't do any more Terminator films. It's a duology. Let it be that. It's over. That's it.
The funniest part about that movie was, so when the movie came out, I was sick. Like, I mean, for the first time, I had like a fever. I was like damn near hallucinating sick, where like bitchy was like, "Hey, you shouldn't be going to the movies. You should probably come home." I go, "No, everybody's saying Dark Fate is bad, but I'm a Terminator fan till the end. I've seen all of them. I'm gonna ride this one out." I walk in my fucking feverish, hallucinated state. And at first, I thought I was just so fucking sick that I didn't see the scene I saw. It was like, I'm looking around the theater. I'm like, did everybody else just see fucking John Connor get blown away? Am I actually, is this a fucking scene? Or did I just imagine this whole thing? And then I saw people swearing and walk out. And that's the part they don't tell you in these reviews. I literally saw people walk out of the theaters after the first 5 minutes. And don't get me wrong. Look, people can bitch and say what they want to say. It's not actually a bad movie. It's not a bad concept. But if you decide in the first 5 minutes to kill off your fucking point of the trilogy of movies existing, that's there's nowhere you can go, because the whole point is John Connor, right? And you just trying to flip it off to somebody else, and I don't give a shit whether if it was a girl or a guy or another. Okay,
I know it would have made for a really good dark ending. Would have made for, like, if that would have been the end of the movie, they kill John Connor when he's on vacation, and they've been like, oh, looks like the robots win. I've been like, fuck, that was good. They're like, no, we'll kill them off. We're just going to go down a different route. Nobody knows it's going to happen, and that way we can do whatever we want. And I was like, okay, you can do whatever you want, but that also means that I'm not sticking around.
So to kick things off,
I think ChillMonger's in agreement there. Did you have any specific thoughts about that?
No, I felt the same way. It's like I wasn't in the movie theaters for that. The only experience that I can relate to is when Leia was doing the little Mary Poppins.
Oh, God.
I looked around and I was like, is anyone else seeing this?
Oh, shit.
Yes.
I saw that movie in the theater twice. The first time I was so drunk. I was plastered. I just graduated college. I was having a good time. I was about to move out to LA. First day back visiting my folks. My uncle and I and my dad couldn't join us because he got too drunk. But we were hammered and went into the movie. And when Luke Skywalker throws the lightsaber, I was like, what? And then the Leia thing happened. I was like, wait, am I still drunk? Or was this movie shit?
You're 2 hours in the movie. You know you're not drunk for 2 hours. I don't give a fuck. Like, unless you're consistently drinking, there's shit that sobered you up. I'll give you an example.
The Leia scene, what I'm saying is the Leia scene sobered me up and was like, I guess I'm not imagining this. I'm actually witnessing this crap unfold in front of me. And then I even went like a couple days later just to make sure that is it just me? Was I just drunk? And then I took my little brother there, and that flying Leia scene, and he literally looks at me like, right? Well, like that's his face, and that's a normal person, non-YouTuber. I wasn't even one then, but that just shows like what you did was so stupid. What the fuck? What made you think that to do that in this way?
I don't know, because they had the scene, and now they can splice them together, and you can have her, shoving the force out of her asshole to fly through space, and then you can turn to Oscar Isaac and he can go, they fly now. That's what
hold on.
Space. That's what they do.
Speaking of flying.
Oh, you're welcome.
Talk about things that fly. That now our government reports might be true. Our first topic today. That was a fucking great segue. UFOs.
It would have been if you would have said it smoother.
UFOs mean us no harm, according to a new official U.S. government report. Now, this is what I find funny about this, okay? Because I swear to God, I'm going to stick by this fucking statement. If the day ever comes out, like I'm talking like Independence Day or fucking the Dave Chappelle skit where he brings up Bibble on stage and says aliens are real. If we ever get to that fucking moment, how many people here, like, look, people can't handle when you say pronouns wrong. How the fuck are people going to handle if we say, hey, guess what? There is fucking life outside of our universe.
Dude, okay, like
that. They're acting like we don't know. We've known for the longest time, but they've been dicks about it and have been pretending. No, it's not. No, it's not there. Yes, it is.
Okay,
and we see it. We see it all the time, and it's obvious. This is
this is what's going to happen though. Is that you're going to be on your spaceship because you've abandoned your planet because it got completely destroyed by the Korean War. So then you come to Earth, and then you're going to hang out, and nobody's going to accept you because you're going to tell them, I don't have any pronouns, and they're going to say, no, you need to have them. Like, this is imperative that you have pronouns for this society, and you have to call me by the ones that I deem necessary. And they'll be like, okay, well, how about I just get on my spaceship and we go to a different planet? Any different planet, because I'm not dealing with your ridiculous bullshit.
So, Chill, what do you think of the new official U.S. government report I'm about to read about with this subject? Like, what are your feelings? Because I know you're very philosophical. I've heard your talks and your different views and things.
So what I think is that I don't think about these, and I view them as distractions from real life situations like the genocide happening right now. If you were familiar with that Gaza Strip where there's like 2 million plus people, it may not be 2 million anymore. Like now we get the UFO news, eh? Okay.
But you know what? You know what? You have an interesting point. I love how when our government does something fucked up, and let's be real, like any government that's big and powerful, they do fucked up shit. We're no
Oh, I
different.
thought you were going to say so, like every day of the week.
Every day of the week, right? And you point out a good point, right? So they're doing this fucked shit, and then they're like, "Hey, guess what, people? You might be," and they're not even confirming. They're like, "You might be right that UFOs are out there." We've been bullshitting you, which anybody could be put together for years.
Is that one of these situations where they're like, so we're not saying that the UFOs are real. We're not saying that. But we are saying if they're real, then they mean us no harm. But we can't say that they're real.
Yes, it.
But if they're out there, it's safe.
That's right.
Like,
you see, guys, the absence of evidence is not evidence of absence.
Bingo.
Oh, that's a really good point. Actually, wow. I didn't think about that.
All it means is unidentified flying object. It could mean that Russians or Chinese. Like, remember when we had those spy balloons that were all white that were coming from down?
Just floating.
It's because they probably went really north and they got so north that now they're starting to get south and they passed through Canada with no one detecting it, and it came down to America. Those were Russians or Chinese or somebody from the other side of the world just trying to see, hey, is this a route if we ever need to do a little something? Well, those were unidentified flying objects.
Well, yeah, and that's the whole thing. Like unidentified is just as it is. Unidentified, it doesn't mean alien. So
yeah, like I want them to go alien, not from this world. Y'all seen Marvel, right? We're talking Kree shit. Like they're real. Like I don't want look, I worked for a government. I know the fucking dancing around and it's plausible deniability and all this other bullshit, right? But like at a certain point, right? I just keep on thinking, like, how long are you gonna wait for? Are you gonna wait for the invasion, like when there's a ton of ships and people are like, these don't seem like weather balloons? Then you're gonna come out and be like, don't worry, people, we're doing some exercises. I think, and maybe it's old school, I always come back to not ET and all that bullshit. Fuck you, PB. I know your feelings on ET. He hates ET. I don't know why.
You know what? I didn't grow up with it either, so I don't blame PB.
But anyways, I always think
is like a premium Halloween movie. It's fucking terrifying.
No, it is when you're a little kid. I was just kind of creeped out. I wasn't scared.
Sure, when you're a little kid, right? Right.
Yeah. Now
that's where that came
I was never afraid, but you know that's because I'm.
No one was asking you.
I'm not fucking racist towards other aliens. You fucks.
Now we're racist.
Yeah.
Oh, that's been a recurring thing for a long time.
What if we're just afraid of their abilities to end us because they've seemed to have mastered light speed travel and whatnot? We're cautious.
Look.
Well,
masters light speed travel doesn't mean they're going to just fucking destroy other planets. I mean, look at humanity. Do you think us as people, if we devised spaceships, right, and could colonize different planets, let's just say like that happens, do you think we would ever go and just go to a random planet, kick some people off, steal their resources, and
never?
Wait, go on. No one would ever.
Our governments would, but us, the people, wouldn't.
There's a difference between going and pillaging and raping and removing people from their land and, just handing them some nice warm blankets that may or may not have smallpox on them.
Yeah, it's a little different with aliens because I don't know how many people are going to be attracted to aliens.
Hey man, we can't all be like Samuel L. Jackson.
So the UFOs, also known as unidentified.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say all that. Were highlighted in the annual intelligence document delivered to Congress early this week. It means that total cases that the what the fuck? All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or AARO, has been reviewing over 800 as of the 30th of April 2023. Jesus Christ. That was a lot of ads, Mir. Get your shit together. AARO is responsible for the analysis of strange sightings for the Department of Defense, or the DoD, over the period of August 31st, 2022 to April 30th, 2023. AARO received a total of 291 UAP reports, a total of 274 that occurred during the period, and another 17 that occurred from 2019 to 2022, but had not been included in the previous annual reports. Reporting from the period still reflects a bias towards restricted military airspace, a result of the reports from military personnel and...
Wait, hold on. So what you're saying is the military is more concerned about monitoring the restricted airspace above their bases and things like that compared to the regular airspace that is unrestricted. Unbelievably surprised.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. This seems to be right here. This is one of those things where you got to the end and you're like, fuck, they asked for 1,000 words and I only got 900. Well, I can add some bullshit here in the middle.
Look, so being somebody who did that, the security... Okay, so the security say I did patrols for base, right? The security...
Oh, wait. You did patrol on the base? You didn't, like, patrol the other side of town?
Yeah, base patrol. Yeah, everyone had to do it. It's like you go around your base and you do, like, watches, they're called. And, you know, you got the night watch, the day watch, roving watch. There's all...
Well, hold on, like... I'm caught up on Loki. When you say doing watches, like, it gives a whole different meaning now.
Jesus Christ.
She's a creepy little clock.
So, yeah, they are secured. So, yeah, that's quite interesting, seeing how we are not exactly monitoring our own, like, civilian airspace, which is kind of scary when you think.
No, why would you?
I mean, why wouldn't you?
I mean, you wouldn't, because we've been conditioned to not look up anymore. Like, everything that you want to go and look at, you're looking down. You look down at your phone, you look down at the computer, you don't look up at the sky anymore, because what the fuck is up there? Just death and destruction.
You think if there was like a war, there would be literally a reason to monitor, and they have the capabilities to do it, but they just turn all off because it's really expensive to keep watching the skies?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Like, that shit. Okay, so just for us, when I was on the ship, to watch basically nothing, because spoiler alert, when you're in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, you don't have to worry about fucking anything when you're on a ship. But we literally have, like, the 18 tech people just sitting there staring at a fucking blue screen all day. And I mean, in all actuality, we could probably use like 2, 3, 4 of them, right? We're not in war times. There's nothing really. We weren't going into international waters per se. We still were, like, right on that line. We didn't really need the security, but it's just the what if. It's a military boat. But there's a strange thing when it comes to these civilian kind of things, and it's kind of always pissed me off. And I hate to do the comeback here, but 9/11, right? Nobody was watching out for that shit, and look what happened. So there's always been a debate, especially in Congress, like, yeah, we should be stretching it out, but then, like Chill said, you come back to the money. What's financially viable? You know, what's good to allocate our resources to? And I know what everybody says, oh, well, we put all of these fucking millions and billions of dollars into the military. Well, let me tell you something. When I was in, and I don't know if this has changed, anybody who's in now could let me know, but when I was in, our gear was shit. All right? Like, we had shit that was requisitioned or it was refurbished in a sense. And I'm talking like radios, vests, things like that, right? And so the bigger question becomes, and the thing to ponder on, where the fuck does the money go? That's the question everybody should be asking.
You think it costs $400 to buy a hammer?
Because I can tell you what, a hammer ain't $400. And these are the things that made me jaded when I came back. And like, look, that's why when people ask me, well, I have a lot of Republican views. I also have a lot of Democratic reviews, and I don't mean fucking left-leaning liberal.
I don't think you have a lot of views either way, but that's fine.
Yeah, I like to stay more center because I've seen both sides, and in my personal opinion, both sides are shit.
Okay.
They forget about the one thing that matters. It's not about. See, everybody is caught up in a two-house system,
no,
right?
You want to know what happens when you're a centrist, right? This is the life of the centrist. Is the person on whichever side, doesn't matter. They say, hey, we're going to kill everybody. And then the person on the other side, because you know you're the other extreme, we're going to kill nobody. What does the centrist say? We'll just kill half of them.
I mean, I'd like to. That's a fucking crazy.
Whatever ones that matter, I guess.
Yeah, that's the life of the centrist.
Whatever will be beneficial to us, including our own presidents. Absolutely. Yeah.
Pretty much. Good morning, Christine.
Hey, how are you? Is she in the UK or?
Christine is in Norway, so you're close.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They
So
speak
Joe,
English.
Stieg could have a friend. Yeah. Hey.
Well, maybe he does.
Oh, yeah.
Can I add to the left wing, right wing stuff? When there's two parties, I'm at a point in my political voting. I think I'll never vote for the big two, and I'm in Canada, but I'm always going to vote for like the underdogs just to weaken the, the strategic voting. I'll always just vote for the little.
Yeah. So does that mean like third party or the lesser of the? Yeah. Okay.
There are four parties. Federally, there's even like a Quebec only party in Canada. So I'll always vote for the Green Party, even if I'm not necessarily in full belief of what they're gonna do. I just know that the other two are so corrupt. To weaken them, we need to make it seem like there's more options. And then maybe one day people are not gonna be like, "Oh, gotta vote for him, or else he's gonna be in there."
Yeah. It's just. It's just one of those things it's the same thing in America, but it's even worse, I think, because there's literally only two options, and it's been that way for like almost our entire.
Oh man, you could have voted for Gary Johnson.
The thing is, they don't even have them in the debates and the main ones.
I know that is the most disappointing thing, because I would like to see the 3 or 4-way debate between all of them, and the person in the middle be like, "These two fuckers are insane."
Yeah. If we had a third option for 2016, oh my god, that would have been great. Because both of them are crazy.
Vote for Zod. I will be a fair dictator. I mean. For the people, I will most
always for the
have,
people. That's how they all start.
I will have
by the people. I mean the people that agree with me.
Hey, Zod called it on Krypton. You know who didn't fucking listen? The people in the council. And what happened to Krypton? That's all I gotta say about that.
That's something really important to add. It's that if there was 3, like a third person on those debate stages, they would ask him questions like UFO questions and try to make them look really loony. They would.
You know what? That's a good point. The moderators are pretty corrupt too. And depending on the network, there's Fox and then everyone else. So yeah, that's a good point to bring up as well. I can only imagine, like, the people that they don't like, they'll ask all the weird questions, and I'm amazed that they answer them, because all you can do is just say, like, that's a stupid question. Why are you wasting our time with this? Can you ask me something?
Fuck them. I'd answer it truthfully.
Chris Wallace.
Good old
Please, Chris, can you ask me an intelligent question as opposed to this bullshit? Moving on to the next person. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. Well, I don't know. That sounded like such a Trump thing to say, though, but you know what I mean.
So
maybe not.
So here's my bottom line here. Who here?
I
wanted to bring up the UFO thing because I thought it was interesting. So, final thoughts. Do you guys think it's true? Do you think it's bullshit? Or do you think it's true, but they're just throwing us a bone now?
Hold on. Like, I don't think this is it true or is it not true? It's 100% true. But the only fact that there is here is that they said the UFOs, or as the military puts it, the UAPs, they said nothing about any of these being extraterrestrial. Said nothing about that. They just said the UAPs are not going to be harmful to you. We have it under control.
That's actually a really good point.
Kind of terrifying, but also like it is a story with it's a non-story story or something like that. So like here's something like Chill said to distract you from the important things that are actually going on in the world that you should probably know what's going on. And here we are talking about the distraction instead of Jonathan Majors.
To be fair, this is what we do on Late Night Talks, though. We do. We were the first to bring meth gators. That's all I gotta say. My record speaks for itself.
You responsible for them?
I would like to think I've conjured them into this world.
I still have most of my teeth, so I'll never tell.
Just
I say most because I'm missing one. Had to get ripped out because it did not like the cavity that it has.
Thank you for sharing.
So, Justin, before we jump off, what's your final say on this? What do you think?
Nothing.
Jesus Christ. No.
Exactly.
No. You're not going to do this bullshit where you jump out and go, this is stupid. I'm not going to. No, you're going to fucking answer. See, Chill's a good guess because I don't have to threaten him. He's giving me a logical answer.
This is such a bullshit article, and we're spending way too much time on it because really what the government has said is nothing. Acknowledge their existence. UFOs are, not explicitly extraterrestrial. We've already covered everything. So, I mean, the only thing I would have
we wouldn't have to,
yeah, and the distraction.
Justin, we wouldn't have to cover it here if there was, like you said, that this entire article was bullshit. If only there was some other channel that did a show that exclusively covered the bullshit, we wouldn't have to cover it.
Oh man, that would be great.
That would be great.
I wish I had a show like that.
a show that might.
Oh wait, I do, and I retired it. Oh.
He retired this week in bullshit, so we're giving him shit.
No, but without that, I grew this lovely beard that's makes me feel like I'm achieving what ChillMonger is doing. With the beard. I always wanted to have a beard like that. I know. I know.
See, I'm the only.
It is a very glorious beard, and with the tied back hair. Oh, it's a fabulous look. Let me just tell you that.
The feng shui is off hook.
Yes, it is off the hook.
You just gotta go.
That's too old of a term for us. But I'm glad you brought it back.
Yes.
So, Mr. Chill, any final thoughts before we move it along?
Well, sorry to give a Justin answer, but yeah, whatever they did. All right. Hey, They're historic for not being transparent with us. So the fact that they're giving out this, maybe it's a change, maybe optimistic.
I like optimism, maybe a brighter future, a better tomorrow. Thank you. This might be a new day of information sharing.
How do you really feel? Because come on,
shut up, Justin.
I appreciate the optimism and bringing a different kind of spin to it,
but the question askers and the guys who are more likely to be making up theories, they are the ones who are going to be distracted by this, and I need those people to be focused on the real issues of the world, right? There's like your imagination goes wild when it comes to space. There's a whole bunch of movie franchises based off of it. So it really is the people who are just brain dead and just zombies just walking the streets like everything's fine. They're not the guys who are going to be attracted to this UFO news. It's the guys who the government are afraid of, or the guys who will more likely mobilize and inform. Those guys are going to be looking up, spending hours on their computer about this UFO stuff.
Yeah. And because they want to focus on that, and that's probably a subject of interest. But most regular people, they have their own problems. They have their shit that they have to deal with, and a lot of practical people are just, like, why not? You mentioned like we have enough problems as is on this earth. How the fuck are we going to solve intergalactic issues if we're not even a part of that yet? That's like bigger than the UN to like a different degree, different galaxies. We're not even close to being there yet, and we already have our own fucking problems. So
we need renewable energy. I think that's going to solve the world's problems. If everyone had solar panels and if the waterfalls all had generators on them and everything was just good, we could have the computers work for us. Now, no, I'm not a fan of AI because that gets into some territory. Terminator.
We've all seen Terminator on this panel, clearly, so we know where it goes.
The AIs are dead. And now we're stuck with each other.
Yeah.
But no, it's.
Speaking of being stuck,
yeah, I'm ready. I have nothing more to add. But it was
stuck,
a very interesting topic.
Let's talk about something that Disney is stuck with, and this is going to be a next segue into our tonight's main event. Let's talk about the Marvels.
Yes.
Okay. First of all, I want to preface this, and PB will agree with me, and I don't give a fuck when anybody says y'all can. Yes, this will be the first time we'll agree. Y'all can kiss my ass. I don't care.
We'll have to wait.
I don't agree with that.
I am looking forward to this movie. Okay, fucking sue me. I was one who actually thought that Miss Marvel wasn't the worst show. It fell apart at the end, but it had a pretty good setup. Yeah, it fell apart hard.
Why do you think I just finished watching it? You're gonna have to tell me why you think it fell apart.
We'll talk about it later. That's a whole nother discussion, but that would take us hours. But let's just say I felt like it fell apart at the ending. A lot of the shit didn't make sense. But I thought it was pretty solid. I don't have a problem with my Queen Brie Larson. Y'all know I got that poster. So fuck y'all. See Scott Pilgrim to understand my deep love for Brie Larson. Fuck you. She looked good in that movie.
Really?
I don't care.
Really?
Fuck you. If you tell me she was not good as the bitch in that movie, you are lying to me and you're lying to yourself. I dare you, Justin, look at me in the eyes and you tell me she's not a good actress. Because you're a fucking liar if you tell me that.
That's not what I was saying at all. I'm just like surprised how passionate you are. And
yeah, I will. You know what? I'm gonna take the other side of this. Normally, I'd be on the bandwagon of shitting on Marvel, but today I'm doing something a little out of character. I'm gonna fucking defend this movie. We got the fucking clear star, the cat, in this. He's going to be awesome.
Get the cat out of here.
Fuck you. Okay, you know what? Fuck you. All right. What did the cat ever do to you?
It ruined Nick Fury's character. Yeah. The fucking cat. Seriously, fuck that. No, that was the stupidest thing ever.
Welcome, lemon pie. He gets it. He's like, let's not kink shame Zod's Brie fetish. Thank you.
Oh, I'm not.
Anyways, so this is something I want to bring up, and I hate this shit because it's never accurate and it's never true. I think it used to be, but nowadays you can't predict this. As always, the trades put out this prediction of how the box office is going to do. And to me, there is an X factor in every movie. And sometimes, don't get me wrong, to get it right. There's certain movies you look at and you're like, yeah, that's a piece of shit. It's going to fail. But I think there's an X factor in here that people are not talking about for this movie. And everybody can come at me and say they're bullshit and talk all that stupid shit because, look, I know Disney's an evil corporation, blah, blah, blah. I've covered it. Justin's covered it. We've all talked about it ad nauseum. But here's the truth. I like to take a movie on a case-by-case basis despite the company. All right? And in this one situation, I feel like this movie, to me, even off the trailers, feels fun. Look, normal people aren't going to fucking look at our videos or look at other people's videos and go, I can't go see that Ms. Marvel. Did you hear what they said about it? It's woke. They don't give a fuck about that, okay? They're going to look at the trailer. They're going to look at the movie. They're going to remember that they made Captain Marvel a fucking billion, which means people liked it. And if you're still living in the delusion
That's not what it means.
that
you know what's funny about that?
Well, hey,
I actually paid money to see Captain Marvel, but I didn't pay money to see Infinity War or Endgame, and all it was because of a review. That is a true story.
First off, wow, you're more dedicated.
I know. Secondly, I know. I should be ashamed of myself, but I'm not, and I don't care.
Because everyone else will say that Infinity War and Endgame were the reason for seeing Captain Marvel when they saw it, and you're telling me that you didn't.
I had a YouTube channel, and I felt obligated to do it.
Well, that's part of it. That is part of it.
Wait. This is the exact reason why I say this movie, to me, is going to do better than they expect. It's the curiosity factor. See, it's just like what happened with Velma. That show is fucking dog shit and terrible, and everybody knows it.
It's the hate watching.
Yes, hate watching is a thing, and I think people are grossly underestimating what this movie is going to do, and they don't take into the fact that there are, believe it or not, I know it's crazy, people who liked Captain Marvel. It happened. It doesn't make $1 billion if there isn't people who didn't like the movie.
Well, yeah.
Exactly. That means there's repeat viewings, okay? Repeat viewings are a thing. I worked in the theater.
Like, I will repeatedly view her workout videos on YouTube, but like not.
And she's probably got a lot of fucking views from that. That's my whole point.
She's got more fans now than she had then. That is for sure. Because there's all kinds of people, us included, that were like, fuck you, Brie Larson. I heard what you said about men. And then she keeps her mouth shut and you're like, you know what? If you would host Jimmy Kimmel again, I'm down.
And that's what I'm saying.
Well, it's better than having Jimmy Kimmel, I guess.
and I mean,
also true.
Well, actually, I can't quite say that, but because that was the first talk show I ever attended. But
and
I can show you the shirt if you want.
Look at the other factors. Say what you want about the quality of Ms. Marvel. That actress is actually highly likable. And I think
you're talking about the girl who plays Kamala Khan? She's fucking hilarious.
She is hilarious. She's likable. She's got a good character arc, in my opinion. I think she brings a charisma, okay, which that cast is lacking. And the other chick who's in it is basically non-existent. Like in WandaVision, I forgot she was in WandaVision. So just not there.
Stop! What cast doesn't have charisma? Did you just say that Kamala Khan's family doesn't have charisma?
No, I'm saying she brings charisma. That's my point. They're going to have the family in there. You know they're going to have the family in there. And that's what I'm saying. That whole cast is charismatic.
Well, obviously.
Which means
well, I'd say like the young girl definitely was from the little that I saw, but it just wasn't my thing. That doesn't mean it was a bad job. I don't know Monica or whoever is that the other chick that was
Monica Rambeau.
I had no opinion on her.
That's exactly my point. She's the only one who sucks charisma out of
and Brie Larson is Brie Larson,
wood.
so yeah. I mean,
And
Brie Larson doesn't have star power. It would be a false statement.
Yes, Brie Larson, clearly somebody is actually doing directing in this movie. She seems more likable in this film. Am I crazy? Everybody on the panel, you seen the trailers? She seems a little bit more fun.
Well, she was brainwashed in the first, so I'll give her that. Oh, you wearing the Jimmy Kimmel shirt for real right now?
Yes. I was
Oh
in
my
the
God.
audience. I was in the audience when and Dr. Phil and Mike Tyson were on the show, and they threw all these shirts into the crowd, and I caught one, and I realized it was a size small, and I was so angry. But I couldn't complain.
Jimmy Kimmel's fucking penis.
That means they intended it for the girl behind you, and you were like, "Give me that shirt. I need to see it."
No, the guys were directly at me. I wish I stole it from somebody, like a little child in the front who was like, "Yay, Jimmy!" I'm like, "Ha, fuck you."
Okay,
that would have
let's
been a
be
great
real.
story.
No one says "Yay, Jimmy" these days. He hasn't gotten a "Yay, Jimmy" since the fucking Man Show. He's a piece of shit.
You know what?
I hate Jimmy Kimmel with all of my fiber of my being.
That's why I'm gonna.
Even ChillMonger knows.
You're sounding a lot like Matt Damon right now.
I mean,
you are. That's a good one.
You know what? I might be. You know what? This is some deep personal. Like, it's like Jimmy punched a family member of mine, but much deeper. Like, I hate Jimmy Kimmel in a way I dare say I haven't hated very many people, except for when I had to see that fucking Captain Marvel movie 3 fucking times, and I did an in-depth breakdown, and people still fucking attack me. Fuck you, people who attack me. By the way, I don't give a flying fuck. Anyways, that is the point.
For free? Did you see it for free?
Yes. That doesn't make it any better. That doesn't mean that it would be like okay. So here's the thing.
It does. Because then they could have said that you contributed to the $1 billion when really you didn't, and instead I did, and no one gave me shit for it. Forever.
They like, I don't know if you know this story, Joe, but literally someone doxed me because of my opinion of Captain Marvel.
That's true. There was a lot of weird shit that happened.
How do they do that? What do they do to
they
find
had
out?
A whole it was this one website when we were looking at memes of you, and
which were funny. I'll give them that.
A lot of them were funny until it wasn't. Let's just put it that way. There was a very intense stalker. And I was laughing my ass off.
We're all I was
laughing too.
We're all fucking laughing, and then he just clicks to the next picture, and it just dead fucking stop. We're like, wait, what?
They put my daughter. So what they did was they ripped a personal family photo, from my Facebook.
Okay, because they knew your name, and they went to Facebook.
Which is why I adopted Zod. So that's where the name came from, because I realized there was something that was a sad fact, is that just because of an opinion, and the sad part is, Chill, if you watch my video, I didn't even say it was the worst movie. I didn't give it a shitty score. I was very objective and said my complaints about it. I said it was boring, and it was kind of
very boring.
That's cool, but the guy who did it, do we know who he is? Because my picture in my head is 21-year-old, got too much time on his hand and wanted to play with.
I know who him and her are. It was a
I thought it was just a girl.
No, it was her and her boyfriend, and they know how I dealt with this. I reached out to some contacts that I knew. I can't say the rest because it may or may not be slightly a misuse of connections that I have, but let's just say they will never be bothering me again.
Nice.
So, but I hate I have to go that route over internet beef, and that's why.
Whoa! Is this like one of those things where it's like they'll never see you coming?
That's exactly what he meant.
Basically.
So you killed them.
No, he's just an actor.
No, I didn't. But let's just say
you should have left that open-ended. There's people watching, being like, "Oh, maybe you'll kill me. I'll stop."
There are fates worse than death. I'll leave it at that.
Oh no.
So the box office projections right now, here's how I view it. We had Ant-Man and the Wasp, the sequel that came out, and that was also sandwiched between Infinity War Endgame. It made 600 million, and then the new one that was Quantumania, it only made 400 something. So 2/3 of the first movies, 2/3 of what they had in between Endgame and Quantumania. And damn, I can't speak right now, but you know what I'm trying to say. So now I'm saying that Captain Marvel 2 will also make 2/3 of what it made when it was sandwiched in between Infinity War Endgame. And 2/3 would be what, 700 million of a 1.1 billion?
Something like that.
It's going to be 700 million of a box office if we go by that. This is marketing to a female audience. Right before the Barbie movie came out, they pushed out a trailer right there, and the trailer was very girl heavy. And of course, you know that if you watch the Barbie movie, that's what played right before it, because they knew that women who watch the movies are probably going to be the same audience who come to this movie that we're trying to make. So Disney put that out.
You saw the Barbie movie in theaters, and that was the trailer that played?
I actually didn't see the Barbie in theaters. But I know that because it was the weekend of Barbie, then of course that's why Disney cut that trailer and made that trailer available.
I saw the Barbie movie.
Oh, I see what you mean. You mean online and stuff like? Okay, I thought they were playing. I would like to know if that trailer played in the theater. I'm curious.
Oh yeah,
about that. I bet it did, and it would be good because even though it's another company, as far as I know,
it is.
It's just the kind of movies that people are going to like, and that makes sense.
And the female audience isn't some niche; it's 50% of the world, so they're going to make their money.
Well, I hope it's at least a good movie, so that the women are going to enjoy it, and some guys might enjoy their version of eye candy, whatever it is. There's nothing wrong with it. If you like a movie, you like it. Why is this text so big? Are you blind?
I love it. I fucking love it.
I put it. I highlighted.
You just noticed that.
It's perfect.
I zoom in.
Okay.
Marvel Studios, Disney's and Marvel's hit 4-week lead tracking with a 75 million to 80 million opening. The Nia DaCosta directed movie opens on November 10th. That start is roughly 50% below opening for the first Captain Marvel movie starring Brie Larson, which was posted a 3-day 153 million, which I'd like to also point out that was coming off of one of the biggest movies ever. So of course they were going to track higher because that's how this works. This projection is down from long lead tracking 90 million figure 2 weeks. That figure from the box office analytics firm Quorum. There we go. Why the fall off? Chiefly, let's be honest, as we've overwritten, it doesn't help to have a tentpole out there during a strike. And this is the other thing I want to. So, Jill, can we all agree? This strike is the excuse I hear for everything. And this is not. We're not even going to pick on Disney for this. Every time a project has failed, I've heard this bullshit. Well, because of the strikes, we're just not getting the attention we needed. It's bad form to make a movie during a strike. I went through a writer's strike. Every fucking show I liked in the 90s got cut to fucking 11 episodes, including The Shield, which I fucking love. Got cut. And you know what happened to them? None of them got canceled. Nothing bad happened. Your movie fucking sucks, and the strike does not have a goddamn thing to do with it.
It has to do with promoting. We remember how Flash didn't have Ezra Miller to promote the movie. It stunk. If you do have the flagship actor promoting, showing up on shows and stuff, it helps. I would say, though, if the actor strike does come to an end, because the writer strike is over, it will be better because they can promote. And then remember that there's going to be a lot of movies delayed. Disney just said that they're delaying their Jonathan Majors movie, Magazine Dreams. There's Snow White. We
all know that's not the reason, though. Let's be real.
I agree. Snow White was in March, and that's getting pushed back. I think from Warner Brothers, they had a movie called Dune from November, and that's getting moved to March. Everything is shaking and moving. So the strike told these studios, hey guys, there's going to be like an empty slot of 2024. Just like move everything and spread it all apart. Which means that Captain Marvel 2 is going to have a couple of weeks uninterrupted from any major hits, right? Unless there's like a Cocaine Bear or some sort of surprise movie that's going to...
Oh, I would love that.
Cocaine Bear.
What would be the Cocaine Bear for right now?
There's
I don't know, some
Halloween
movie, but some Halloween or Christmas movie, I guess.
ChillMonger, can I just like applaud you for just saying that sentence? Like, what's going to be the next Cocaine Bear? Because that is one of the most fun times I had in the movie theater in a long time.
Best movie of the year.
I honestly believe that should be nominated for an Oscar somewhere, somehow. I just want it to happen. I don't care. Zod and I did a whole like 2-hour stream on this shit, comparing it to Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and oh my god, I love that movie so much that the next day I drove down to Kentucky to do a little review in front of the actual taxidermy Cocaine Bear.
Nice.
And it wasn't even in its actual location. It was moved to a movie theater for his premiere. And I had to knock on the door, and a janitor opened the door and let me in so I could film it. Like,
speaking of which, I'm not gonna.
Dedicated. I love that movie that much.
I'm not gonna confirm or deny.
This is on your channel.
I'm not gonna confirm. I'm not gonna confirm or deny, but I might say that Cocaine Bear and Renfield are running strong in my top 5.
I've never seen Renfield.
Movies of the year for 2023.
I'm gonna have to give a lot of props to the Blackening and Saw X, because I love
the Blackening is also gonna be somewhere on my top 10
Saw
list.
X good. No, is Saw X good?
I'm saying that Cocaine Bear interfered with Ant-Man Quantumania, and it had like a weekend that it should not have had, because that's a Marvel movie. There's gonna be a Halloween film or something, a Sound of Freedom type film, which just sneaks into the top, and Captain Marvel 2 could be like, shit, we came out at the wrong time.
I would love that. That would be great.
Okay, so they bring up the strike, which is all bullshit. I'm not even gonna read that because I'm getting tired of hearing about it. Like, yes, I understand Chill's point, but I still feel like promotions can also hurt. If we're using Ezra Miller, we'll use that same example. Did you really want him on the press tour? So I mean, and it's just like, we know Brie Larson gives fucking horrible interviews too. Do you really want her? And that plank of wood who plays Monica Rambeau, I'm sure she's a great actress in real life, but her character fucking sucks. It sucked in WandaVision. Didn't win me over at all. She was kind of a whatever character. And I don't think she has the charisma to carry. So then you have one actress who is charismatic enough to win people over. And I just set her because she's very likable. She knows Marvel. She's clearly a fan. That's the kind of person you want to send. But the studio won't do that. They'd send like Brie Larson, her, and the plank of wood. I'm sorry if anyone likes that actress. And I'm sure the actress is a nice person. I've seen her in interviews outside of the Marvel universe. She seems like a nice person, but I just don't think the character they wrote for her is very good. We've seen her once, and that one outing, it was just like so lackluster. And then, if I'm not judging on that, if you see her in this film and all the promo clips, I actually kind of feel bad for her because she's essentially taken Brie Larson's position. She's very stoic. There's no kind of pizzazz. There's no
pizzazz.
Yeah, there's no pizzazz. There's nothing that.
Dude, do you remember? Like, you can watch the pizza cook on that thing because it just rotates and it's open. Oh, the pizzazz.
Yes, I love the pizzazz, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't discredit actors promoting stuff, but we've seen with Rachel Ziegler too. Do you really want her promoting the new Snow White and the diverse dwarfs? Like, I'm sorry, they're not dwarfs anymore.
Peter Dinklage. Let's not forget about that. Like, why couldn't you have 7 little people in there, and then you had one?
Oh no, Justin, we can't, because now we're so progressive that we're fucking over people who might need those jobs, which nobody ever brings up. Because, hey, did anybody ask the people in that community how they feel about now not being able to get a job for the sake, which is the ironic part, of being more sensitive? So now you're putting people who might have been able to act in those roles, who could have did it justice, you're putting them out of jobs for the sake of helping them?
Yeah,
it seems like an oxymoron to me.
Yeah, and these roles don't only come like every 30 or 40 years. The first time was the Wizard of Oz. The second time was Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and then you had a chance here and you fucked it up. So now the dwarves are gonna have to wait even longer. And
Dude,
I'm talking about like a mass amount of dwarf actors or like little people, whatever you want to.
Dude, it doesn't matter.
Term. I don't even know what the right term is, but it's different for every person because they don't all think the same thing. Much like me and the LGBT community, we don't all think alike. We all are our own people. We have different perspectives on it, and some people would agree, some people would disagree. That's just how it is. And I find it very offensive that they wouldn't even bother to include anyone. And they even had what was it, Hugh Jackman in the new Willy Wonka with Timothy Chardonnay. I don't even fucking know his name. I don't know. He's the one who I don't know. He was the gay guy in that movie that he won an award for or whatever. I don't know. But apparently he's a big star, and now there's this other Willy Wonka movie, and you have Hugh Jackman as an Oompa Loompa. What the fuck? Why couldn't you actually?
Okay, I was told by a wise old man that size matters not, and I'm pretty sure all of us saw Infinity War probably more than once, and they took the shortest guy in the movie and made him a fucking giant. So I don't give a shit.
Well, I do. I'm sorry, but I think what they did in Infinity War was amazing.
Hi, Carmen. I did not want to interrupt.
Oh, they're supposed to get a real giant.
Hey, Carmen.
I winked at you. I acknowledged you in the chat. I love you, Carmen.
Ooh.
Oh, spicy.
You happy now?
Tilt your hands up a little more when you do that.
Don't say it like that, ChillMonger. You happy now? Yeah, come on.
Got your attention. You got better than an emoji. You got a I love you.
Okay.
When it comes to Peter Dinklage, it's a one little podcast interview he gave where he was kind of disappointed. What they could have done was said, "Oh, we don't want to mistreat anyone who's a dwarf. We'll give more lines. We'll add more context to just the characters can't just be happy or sleepy or one emotion. But that would take effort, right? Instead, they said, "No, dwarf is the problem."
When you look at
that's actually a really good point on the perception of them. And
here's the issue: when you look at Disney's diversity push, it's like Chill said, you got to wonder: is it the writing or is it the backlash that they get? And 9 out of 10 times they have these writers who shouldn't be writing these kinds of movies. Now, look, I'm not saying they're bad writers, but who the fuck puts what's his face? I'm blanking out, and I like him. Guy Ritchie, right? Who makes him the director of Aladdin? Now, great director for The Gentleman or Transpire or any of those, but for Aladdin, you pick Guy Ritchie, who's famously known for making R-rated philosophical movies. And then on top of that, you handcuff his vision. He wanted to do these other different things, and Disney said, "Oh yeah, you can do that, but not really." So they get these creative writers who don't fit the movie they're given. They handcuff them with all of these restraints, saying, well, you can do the movie you want to do, but you have to have diversity. You have to have this character. You can't do this because it'll offend this group. You can't do this. And then they say, good luck. Look at, you got Sam Raimi to do a film. Sam Raimi is a fucking horror god. He is one of my favorite directors. I love Sam Raimi to death. Evil Dead is one of the best fucking horror films. Fight me for it. I do not care.
Thanks,
The
Carmen.
work, the fucking puppet work, the shit that they went through to get that movie made is the stuff of fucking dreams, right? You get Sam Raimi, who could make your movie into something unique, right? And you have this theory where you can play around with multiverses and madness and craziness, and you handcuff the man's fucking arms every step of the way because A, you want a PG-13 rating, and B, you want to go kind of half into the concept, but kind of not. You want to dip your toes in, but you don't want to alienate people. They have no balls. That's what's hurting them. Disney used to be trendsetters. They used to go against the grain. They used to do hand-drawn art. They used to employ the best fucking artists in the world, and I wish I had Bitchy actually for this because she could tell you like she loves old school Disney because she draws, and they had the greatest fucking creative minds of our generation working on all these masterpieces. And what the fuck happened? Cutting corners, trying to be diverse, and giving people opportunities who don't fit the job. They're not bad directors. They're not bad writers. They just don't fit the movie you gave them. So, of course, they're going to fail. And then you handcuff them.
Cutting corners is the only way to get circles, and I'm a big fan of curves. So.
Oh my god.
I am so sorry. So, speaking of
internet kids poetry type of line.
Speaking of
can I touch on diversity for a second? I think that they're right to have a focus on it, but it's not per movie. It's industry wide. Like your studio does 12 movies a year. If this Sam Raimi movie happens to be a very white movie, that's fine. You don't need to change it. Or if you're doing Little Mermaid and it just happens to be a white movie, don't go, gotta diverse it up. No, that's fine. Let that be as white as it wants to be. But now take all that money that you give to these all white movies you just did and just do a black movie or a other group that's underrepresented. And no one's complaining if you did that. You don't have to squeeze diversity into every project. You can notice that you got very white projects and say, let's do some diversity that way, not diversify this white movie. Individually, there shouldn't be quotas and percentages of casts that need to be hit. And like, what if we're doing a movie about cowboys or NASCAR or something that is going to lean very white? It's fine.
Well, no.
Yeah, like Talladega Nights, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby was a prime example. A prime example of the kind of like my dad loved NASCAR, and it warmed his heart when I said, "Hey, I want to see that new Will Ferrell movie." Yeah. And I saw it in theaters when it came out, and it's the oldest ticket stub that I think I still have. Which is very, sad in comparison to like, people who had ticket stubs from like the 40s, I guess. But I don't know. It was something that was meaningful to me. It felt like the first adult sort of film that I wasn't supposed to watch, but I was watching it with my dad, so it was okay. And it meant a lot.
And whatever studio did that, go give the same amount of budget to a Kevin Hart and Kenan Thompson comedy, and everyone's happy.
Because they have that's the kind of movies they can make, and there should be a movie for everyone. Literally a movie for everyone, and it shouldn't have to cost like a shit ton of money. It's great everyone's getting paid.
Here's the thing,
but there should be enough creativity out there that you can like scope and just there has to be somebody like the people who are the executives who decide what goes into the theaters and what doesn't clearly really needs to be fired. Like seriously, there's a lack of creativity there. There's just logic of safety, and that sort of bullshit has not been working for you very much. So just get new blood in there. Just wipe, reset, and let's just start all over because these fucks like clearly are terrible at their jobs.
And here's the thing. I am a huge fan of Jordan Peele. I honestly will will die on the hill that I think he is going to be our generation's like best horror filmmaker of all time, like up there with the legends, you know, the Toby Hoopers and things like that. Like I think he's at that status. I'm still waiting for that one movie that knocks it out of the park, but I think he's getting very close. And here's the thing: when you look at Jordan Peele's movies, a good majority of them, who's a majority of the cast? Black people.
Well,
Does
yeah,
that change the movie in any way?
he doesn't have to worry about diversifying anything, or we need
Thing.
more screen time for this side character because that's not being represented enough. Nope, never comes, because why? The lead is taken care of, or the two leads in some cases, they're taken care of. They don't worry about stuff like that.
And on top of that, he not only gets, it's not just about who's black, who's white, who's Asian, or whatever. Everybody he gets knocks it out of the park, whether you like or hate his movies. I know they're highly divisive because of the themes and the thoughts that they make people think, and people are fucking stupid these days and don't like to think. But anyways, whether you vibe with the movie, one thing that can't be denied, the acting across the board in every one of his films has always been, at least in my opinion, 10 out of 10. There has not been actors in those movies who have gave a weak or a bad performance. Now, maybe the story is a little weaker than others, or maybe the script didn't give them enough to do, or kind of shortchange the character, but I never felt like the people didn't give 100%.
Nope.
And that's a rarity. That's a rarity. So
I was trying to be cute. I said nope. Like
hey, I love Nope.
Oh, I
love
so
Nope.
Cute. Don't worry about it, darling. You're all right. You're okay.
No, I thought I love Nope. I think I wouldn't put it up there. I'd say my favorite out of them, and I know I'm gonna get flagged for this because everybody jumps to Get Out, and I like Get Out, but I don't like the ending. I like Us. I think that was the best one because I know at the end of the day it was kind of simplistic.
Oh, yes, nice. I like Us too.
Oh yeah, I was waiting for your
I
delayed
love
reaction.
Us.
You know? Like, I was wondering when you would take up that opportunity. Be like, I like Us. I hate the movie. You know, I don't know. I tried to watch Us. I didn't get it with the first like.
I've not seen any of these.
Yeah,
you haven't seen Get Out, Us, or Nope?
Nope.
Yeah. There you go. There we go. You earned that. I love that.
Speaking of bad mistakes that Disney is making, let's talk about another mistake that Disney might be making when it comes to Jonathan Majors. And before I jump into my article, I want to get the
we
only
need
person
Michael
who has
Buffer
an
right
expert.
now to introduce the main event.
Yeah. In this corner, the man with all of the knowledge who's been covering this since it's come out, the one, the only, ChillMonger.
I have myself muted. All right, look, here's the thing. Once upon a time, it's March 25th, 2023, and we see headlines all over the place. Jonathan Majors domestic dispute, strangulation of a woman, and we all go, "Whoa, okay." Now here's the thing, though. He's told us that the police showed up because he called 911. Like his lawyer said this. He didn't technically say it, but he's the one who dialed 911. They needed to treat her, and we now know that it was an attempted suicide of this woman that he was dating. It was his girl. Now it was his ex-girl, but he dialed 911 at his unit to get her help. Now, because she broke her finger, because she fell in and she had a lacerated ear, that damage, which is real, there's really a lacerated ear, there's really a broken finger, and there's also really vomit on the bed and everything. She was taken, and police showed up. They asked her all these times, and she would say, "I don't know what happened," like 19 times, but they coerced her to say it's a strangulation. Now, this is according to Jonathan Majors. The police made her say that, and then they cuffed him and they brought him in, right? They didn't know who he was. There's actually, according to Majors, in the body cam footage, you can hear the cops saying, "Well, it's impressive. 3 units. This guy lives here? There's no way." And they were like, being the way they are. So from the jump, ChillMonger says, okay, just as an act of racism, but thankfully, they're going to drop these charges because that's what people do, right? The woman who said that he strangled her, she recanted her statements twice. She pulled back, "Hey, no, nothing happened." And for 2 times, not just once. The district attorney, though, is gung-ho on pressing charges and prosecuting these things. On May 9th, she even added they dropped the strangulation charge, but they added a couple new charges, even though they said that they wouldn't do it. Because the defense team was like, here, we'll give you guys some evidence, DA. Jonathan didn't do it here. But what they did was they changed their story on May 9th. The story is that prior to 11 a.m. on March 25th in that morning, prior to that, Jonathan Majors laid hands on her at the back seat of a car. That's where he lacerated her ear with an open palm slap, and he twisted her arm, and that was the broken finger. That's what they said. The problem with that is that we have video evidence of her injuries being perfectly okay. She was not actually injured. I'm gonna pull up the slide on the side, but someone else talks while I find it.
Ooh, a slide on the side.
Ooh, I love the official slides. But also too, I'd like to pull out. There was another thing, and we talked about this earlier before we had everything, where I had said my piece, which was we all saw Creed 3, right? Everybody saw Creed 3. You see how big that man is? If the open palm slapped me, he'd at least knock out a tooth and maybe fuck up my eyes. So you're telling me?
I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I did not see Creed 3 because there's no
choice.
Okay, but you've seen Jonathan Majors and
that's like killing off John Connors in the first 5 minutes of a Terminator movie.
Oh no, nothing that bad. Hey, Creed 3 was fucking fantastic. But anyways.
So you can see her with her hair. She's on the left right now, and she's using her fingers perfectly fine. There's no bloody ear. This is 8 minutes after the alleged big brouhaha that he laid hands on her and whatnot. She's fine. She just bumped into these people, and she's given her take on what happened. You can turn on the audio. I think, and hear it. But basically, she's not complaining or saying, he beat me, he hurt me. She's just like, I left my phone and my purse at the back of the car. That's what she cares about. And I'll show you one last part at the end of the video. Right here, where Jonathan walks right past her, and he's gonna come from up top. And if my video, if my computer was faster and I didn't have
it'll be okay.
Yo, bro. And you can see him.
Yeah, that was straight gangster.
but notice how the woman is being pulled back by this like random person, right? And then she's gonna like free herself, and because she's not afraid.
Yeah.
I pressed play and it's not playing. I'll close my tabs. There, and he wants nothing to do with her. He's the one going, get away from me, you know?
That was hilarious.
Okay, so like I can hear clearly what was said there. It sounded like she said, "Can I get my phone from the car?" And he was like, "No."
Basically, something like that. But he was just being beat on by her. She goes to the club right afterwards, by the way. This is like at 2:27 a.m. So a couple hours after that moment I just showed you earlier. That's her. She's at the club. She's perfectly fine. No signs of injury. Even the bartender and the DJ are
always. I mean, you guys must go dancing with broken fingers, right? Like, that's just the thing to do nowadays.
He took a picture of him being scratched, and there's metadata on the phone from 2 a.m. because he's the one who was assaulted. Now, he did, and scratched here also on his hand. And he takes these photos, and there was blood over on his pillow when he woke up, and he took a photo of. I guess he knew there would be some legal ramifications coming. That's the whole article, basically. But from that evidence... And remember, the reason that the police even got there to arrest him wasn't because she complained about something. It was because she was attempted suicide. And allegedly, she like robs him and takes a Rolex and leaves the country and flees. Because of that, that's why we're here. That's why we are in this situation. Now, he did something on June. He went to the police precincts and he said, I'd like to press charges on her. This woman here, I'll show you there's a little bit of evidence, and it's everything I just showed you. I was assaulted. There's a witness the driver of that like Cadillac Black Lane New York service, that guy also is a witness to this. The police said, you know what? Yeah, you're right. So even though they tried to press charges in June, the district attorney deactivated the incident card and was like, no, not going to happen. And plus, she's not even in the country. Now, did she leave the country because of that? Or was she already away from the country? She is an English, British, so she lives in London. She's back in the country now. And when she returned, she was indeed arrested. She has been put in the system. She has a misdemeanor, 2 of them, 2 misdemeanor charges. And if you go to my Twitter account, which I'm not even sharing it, sorry, I'll share it. You can see the video of her.
Like, you would think he could do way better than this scrubby-looking lady.
That's her leaving the 10th precinct.
Ah.
About being charged with a crime.
So she must have some money, too.
Hi, Grace.
Oh, no. She doesn't have money. The people who flew her is the people of New York City. They are paying for accommodations. God. That's right. Look at this lawyer right over here smiling on the left. You see him? Like, what was so funny, pal? Like,
hi, Grace.
He has that smile. Like,
he's having way too good of a day.
What'd you say, PB?
He's having way too good of a day.
He's faking it because he knows that these pictures are going to last forever. So why look, murky? You gotta look like you're happy. Things went just the way we wanted.
This went exactly how we planned.
Serious.
So there's other people
looking for.
Yeah, there's other people like Rolling Stones, Variety, providing coverage that is very one-sided and unfair. They're talking about alleged victims in his past. Hey, if he did something in the past, get him, hold him accountable. But we're talking about March 25th. Don't try telling me that there's like a London report from 2022 when they were in London shooting Loki, and there's a police investigation that we need to add to our case. I don't care about what happened in London 2022. That's not relevant to what happened on March 25. All he did was say, get this woman help, and he got arrested. Is it racism from the cops? I'd say so. Absolutely. Is it racism from the system now pursuing him and following up on what the cops started? Yeah. Some I've heard that it's not systemic racism because the mayor in New York is black. Even the district attorney, the main one, he's black. This can't be a system, you know? I disagree with that.
Yeah, and here's the other thing that got me is that I love how and we covered Johnny Depp on this channel, very thorough. That's no secret, but there's this thing, and it happens with everybody who gets his charges, right? I heard a story where some kind of person who was his college professor claimed that there were all of these things that happened that he covered up, and he's feeling so guilty about now that there's a court case that's going to have press and everything else. He's feeling so bad. He had such a guilty conscience. He had to talk about all of these incidences that go back to when Jonathan Majors apparently attended this college course and all of these incidents that happen with these ladies. And it's like, one, here's the thing that mystifies me. One, if you know this is happening, one of two things happened. Either A, you got paid off and didn't say anything, and now that he's famous, you want more money. Or B, as most colleges were due, right? He scored high. He looked like he was on the career track of making something out of himself, so you sweep it under the rug. Any of those scenarios is terrible because it means you waited how many years from when Majors was in fucking college to now be in a tentpole in the Marvel universe, and now all of a sudden your conscience is feeling so bad. Now you've got to stand up and do the right thing. I call bullshit. Anybody who does that, there's always an angle. And I know people say, oh, well, people can change, blah, blah, blah. When you have that much money and you have those kind of people pursuing this case, someone reached out to him, there's an upside, and now he's going to come forward and try to say all of these things that happen allegedly, because I still have yet to see any of these, whether you go to the London case in 2022, I still have yet to see any proof. Where's your, we opened an investigation? It's an investigation. It's ongoing. So there's no evidence. There's no proof. You haven't found anything hard, because if you did, he'd have been arrested in 2022. Or at least brought in for questioning. Nothing. There's been no questioning. There's been nothing that has told me that there's any kind of proof. And we say this all the time in these cases.
They just have a problem. Like, they find hard evidence, but it never lasts longer than 4 hours.
Man. But like Chill, you get where I'm going with this. Like, anytime these cases come out, it's always the talk and the whisper. And I'm not gonna lie, I might be a little bit biased because I've seen this bullshit, and I don't give a shit, black, white, or other. Like I said, it's a man being railroaded.
That too.
In general, like, look, you guys all know I went through an ugly separation with my ex, right? And I could tell you for a fucking certainty, 100%, men get fucked over by the system when it comes to these kinds of cases, because there's a mindset that believe all women. The man naturally look at a murder mystery, right? Or a killing. Let's go to that extreme, right? Who's the person they always question first when there's a couple and the wife dies or the girlfriend dies? Who do they go to first?
Her spouse.
Her spouse, the boyfriend, or the husband. But why? That's the question. Why not go to the best friend? Why not go? And 90% of the time, and I've been watching a lot of murder mysteries with Bitchy, so I've been watching like these different channels, right? It's a best friend. It's a neighbor who came over, right? It had nothing to do, but you destroyed somebody's life. You dragged them through the mud. You destroyed their reputation on a bullshit notion that barely carries weight these days, that it's always got to be the spouse, or it's always got to be the boyfriend, or it's always got to be the man in the relationship. And Amber Heard and Johnny Depp proved that, hey, maybe we should also listen to the other person before we take out our fucking pitchforks and torches.
Or believe the evidence that shows her finger is fine and her neck is fine and her ear is okay. And there's no possible reason why he could have done it. And while it is a male-female thing, yeah, the system does untreat the males well. When the cops showed up there and were acting like this couldn't be his penthouse suite, it wasn't because he was male.
Oh yeah, you got multi-layers, and I mean that's on care. I mean that can't even be disputed. And look, I've said 1,000 times, like my uncle, retired a police officer. He had a very good record, didn't do anything. He only fired his gun once.
But what city was he in?
He was in New York. He fired his gun once as a detective, and he lived with that for the rest of his life. And it was a kid. I don't want to get into details, but the kid did pull a weapon on him. But he regretted making that decision. And it wasn't like, oh, he pulled a toy gun. It was a legit gun. It was by the book, but he lived with that for his whole life. So I'm not saying the police have an easy job, but there's this thing where, like, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't in that field. And then there is people are people, right?
We got to say good night to Carmen, by the way. She was such a good night. Bye, Carmen.
Oh, hey, have a good night, Carmen. And by the way, welcome to my old tendencies. How are you doing? Good to see you on this channel. But it's that people are people. People have their natural inherited biases, races, and the thing is, you're supposed to separate those things. But then there are certain fields that don't do a good job of separating that out, right? It's kind of almost, depending on the county, who you're trained under, it's nurtured, it's matured. But here's the thing, that's not everyone, that's not everywhere. And that's what makes these situations hard. Because, Chill, you're in a tough situation too, because I know what happens when you scream, it's systemic racism, you got 1,000 people come after you and say, yeah, oh, we're going into the black and white issue or whatever.
You're playing the race card, huh?
Yeah, you're playing the race card. And Chill, and I'm sure PB can back me up on this, and Justin, you don't strike me as that person who just throws out the race card willy-nilly.
You throw out a different kind of race card. You just offend black people to no end with your shit. That's what you do.
Really?
No, that's really what he does.
I feel like many of them were offended by your views on Wakanda Forever.
And
oh yeah, you piss off a whole bunch. I remember those days.
He didn't like Black Panther, the first one, and that's what started this whole mess. Is because he didn't like it, and therefore he's a racist.
I remember, yeah, I was there, and I do agree with that sentiment. Hopefully, he can learn from his pasts, and he can.
No, clearly he didn't because he hated Wakanda forever. So yeah.
No, actually, I went the opposite way on that one.
Yeah, he went.
Okay,
he went the other one.
Peer pressure. Okay.
He liked it because the Black Panther died, and he's like, "This is great."
Yes. That's part of
You
the
know
movie
what?
is gone.
I knew a lot of people would see that, and I go, you know what? I'm fucked in this situation either way because now I'm a fan of the movie that kills off Black Panther, so I fucking lose either way. Look, I've said it before, and I say it again. When you make the villain better than the hero, what the fuck am I supposed to do with that? Okay, I'm not saying I hated the whole movie. I liked every part that Killmonger was a part of. I didn't like fucking them fucking up to T'Challa when they did such a great job in Civil War. And I thought, okay, this is the movie where we're going to see him actually rule and move on. But no, it was like a reintroduction when you already introduced him in Civil War.
Yeah.
And questioning himself and the whole fucking arc again. And I was just like, no, all you had to do is he's been king for like 3 years. And then bam, throw Killmonger in there. You got a movie. Not this whole, you let your sister, look, I'm sorry, and I'm not being sexist or racist or whatever here, because I know people will take it.
No, I got the card right here. I'm ready to draw.
He's ready to throw the card. But look,
I've drawn it about 37 times. So
when you're the fucking king of Wakanda, right? You're the man, and your fucking sister comes in and fucking badmouths you in front of people. White people too? He already has a tough time because he's a diplomat coming from another country with all of these fucking people from the CIA or whatever, and the bitch comes in and goes, well, I don't think that's a good choice. This isn't the time to talk about that right now. Why are you badmouthing
what do you mean?
King?
What
all these people? It's one person.
Like, what did you do?
Agent Ross. It's only Agent Ross. You know, the hero of the movie?
It was the dude from Lord of the Rings. When ChillMonger robbed that fucking art place and everybody got away, and he was sitting there or when Killmonger robbed the art place.
It's better.
I'm sorry. Because I see ChillMonger. I have to think you got it from the best villain of all time. Anyways, when he fucking robbed that art place, right? And fucking Black Panther is there as a fucking courtesy to help them out, right? And he wants to go and chase after them and all this shit. And his sister comes in and goes, oh, we got to be careful. We can't step on toes. We got to be delicate. It's like, okay, that's good advice. But the way she said it was fucking snarky. And he's the fucking king. And look, I don't give a fuck if you're my mom, dad, or family. If I'm the king and I'm in charge, you don't come in the middle of a meeting and talk shit to me in front of these people who don't know our business, right?
That's why it's kind of humorous in a way.
No, that's a bullshit. You fell into the bullshit Marvel thing. No, it's fucking Street 101. You keep family business in the home.
Well,
you don't talk family business in front of strangers. I never do that.
I would never care. Like, even if my dad was somehow stupid enough to get into the Oval Office and he was the president of the United States, I would still make fun of him the same way that I still do now.
It does not matter.
It doesn't matter.
It's not the making fun of. It's the being condescending and rude while you're supposed to be a diplomat for your fucking country and you're trying to show power and strength. You can't be undercut. It undercuts your authority. And in that movie,
I mean, I get it. Like, in private, it's fine. But
yes, in private, it's fine. But that's my whole point.
But the kids wouldn't even be there in,
But that's the whole point. You can't undercut your character and take away his power, and then have him oppose.
For a stupid little laugh, like, it's okay if it comes into a meaningful place. I understand, and it makes sense. But if it just seems like its sole purpose is to demean the character that you're supposed to prop up as this as this big figure for
like a king.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a king, like a king of a fucking country. Yes.
Or in this case, it's meaningful in a whole different way. That comes across as disrespectful.
And Chadwick Boseman is a great actor. That's the thing. But I felt like he was undercut by a lot of what Marvel creatively chose to do in those kinds of moments. It takes away from the character, right? Because then you have someone strong that he's acting against, who's putting up a damn good performance, and you're undercutting the value of your main character with these other side characters. And then it makes me want to root for the bad guy because the good guy is being weak as shit. Like, by the end of the movie, I'm sorry, I don't think Killmonger was wrong. And that really killed the movie for me because he just said, yeah, we should sell technology and fucking make money. What was he doing different than any other country that's doing the same thing? He was progressing them. I'm sorry, I'm a villain. I'm fucking called General Zod. I'm gonna side with the bad guy, but he had a good point. He was named the king. He won that shit fair and square. I don't give a fuck that they saved him from that fucking unrealistic drop that he had, but that's another story, okay? He was the fucking king, and I'm a fucking military man. It doesn't matter how bad the orders are. You don't fucking rebel against the person in charge. That's just not how it goes down. If you have the country's best interest, and look, Killmonger wasn't doing anything that was going to hurt them. He was fucking making the country more money. He was trying to help his people.
You don't need money in Wakanda. You're beyond that. You guys have your own little ecosystem to take care of your own issues.
Ecosystem doesn't pay for the people, though.
No, but you have your own forms of currency. You have your own way to get people to do their tasks. So having money globally when you shut out the rest of the world is irrelevant. They're not part of that world. Literally, they're not part of the world.
But I mean, why have one where you can have more people? I'm just saying. Okay, I am a villain. I'm just saying.
That's all.
Wow. Zod 2024. I will make us the most dominant force.
They should recast T'Challa, and I wish that they used Jonathan Majors to play T'Challa. Watch why I bring it back to the main topic. When it comes to Jonathan Majors, and yes, his movie magazine Dreams is being pushed and delayed, and it's probably because this is ongoing. He does have a court date in November, is when like the trial actually begins. No more delays. So it happened in March 25, this misdemeanor case, and the trial happens in November. Where are you reading from? What website is it?
This is from Trending Now. This was just an article I pulled that was recently trending, like yesterday, where it said Jonathan Majors Accuser is charged with domestic assault after surrendering. So. And it brings back to what you were saying, right? She came back. So she's getting charged. So this is my confusion with this whole thing, right? If their whole basis for this arrest and for even starting the ball rolling was he was abusing her, right?
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly. Then how do they still have a case when she's literally being charged for domestic violence against him?
They're choosing not to pursue it, though.
Because they would say that they're not mutually exclusive. Like, she could have scratched the ever-living hell out of him and fucking made him bleed. And he also could have hit her and made her bleed. Like, both things could have happened. Just because you did the assaulting doesn't mean the other person didn't do any assaulting.
And that's why
it's just alleged.
That's why the police are being fair and doing their job. Yep, we have enough evidence to get her. We'll get her. Now it's time for the district attorney. Do what you're doing with Jonathan. You're prosecuting him. Now let's prosecute her. But they're saying, no, it's common in these where the aggressor is going to counterclaim as a way to make himself seem innocent. We've seen this play out before. Don't worry. We're not going to prosecute her. No, nothing to see here.
Okay. Right, except they should be entirely separate things. It shouldn't be one hinging on the other. Like, you can, as a prosecutor, you're almost a third party in that aspect, and the other person is essentially just a witness in the crime that the other person has committed. Like, you got assaulted, you're a witness. You're not the one prosecuting. You're the one who gave the information that the charges could be brought, but I'm not prosecuting. I'm just a witness at that point of you fucking beating the hell out of me.
Yeah,
and I'm also a witness of me not beating the hell out of you. But, you know, whatever. That's why they should be entirely separate. Like, go ahead and prosecute, like, go through all of the motions that you need to go through for both of them. And whenever you hit that fucking wall where you're like, oh, I guess we can't go any further, then you stop.
And here's the interesting part of this. It said that there is an update in this article. Thursday, October 26th at 12:19, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office told the Messenger Thursday that Grace will not be prosecuted as the charges against her lack prosecutional merit. The case against Jabra is now closed and sealed. So I wanted to bring that up because of that one little edit. So as Chill said, because I was getting to that, I know they weren't going to go forward with it. So they basically have all of the evidence from Majors himself by what you showed us, right? The scratches and everything, and she didn't have a fucking thing on her, right?
No, she didn't have it until later at 11 o'clock because she fell and she broke her own finger and that.
And that, yeah. And so they still refuse to go through with that, but yet they're still taking Jonathan Majors to court for these bullshit charges. So that's why I said, and like before, I remember you saying you didn't want to take a stance yet, no one, but I'm still going to stick with what I said back when we first talked about this. I call bullshit on this whole thing. And I even said that I felt like I don't normally throw it out. I remember everything I said. I've waited for this moment because there's very few times I'm right. But I said this was a fucking racism thing, that this felt like a racism thing because it was kind of fucking weird how quickly the wheels of justice seemed to fucking move with this case. Even Johnny Depp had a little bit of a fucking leeway before the shit hit the fan.
A little bit?
I mean, yeah, there were a lot of
years. He had years of this shit.
There was shit in between. There was shit in between. But with Jonathan Majors, all of a sudden we're going right to fucking trial. That's a little weird. It's a little weird too that also on camera you have your fucking officers very audibly and loudly talking about how this person can't have a nice home.
But some people we hear racism when we hear that, right? But some people are just like, no, they're just impressed. What do you mean? What are you talking about? They're never seen it. Huh?
I don't like. How could you not hear the racism in that?
Some people say, well, if I was in a penthouse with 3 floors, I would say the same things because this is uncommon. Racism, get out. That's what people say.
And this is like one of those perfect examples where, yes, we see these fake kind of things where people are crying racism all the time. And the sad part is when you do that, it's like the boy who cried wolf, because when you have a real situation where you can't mask it and you can't camouflage it and just say, oh, it's this, it's an off-colored remark, right? Then it doesn't get the attention it deserves. Like, to me, and I said this before they even fucking brought all this stuff out, I said, this feels racist. I mean, I grew up in New York. I remember being in a group of friends, and, you know, I was one of the few white people in there. And I remember being there because when somebody had to talk to the cops, I was that guy. That joke is there for a reason. It's a fucking real thing. Because of the way the situation was. And that was back in the fucking 90s. Racism didn't just go away. It didn't just fucking disappear. It's still a thing.
Yeah.
Those college kids got to step it up.
Yeah. Racism in the 90s. What comes to mind?
NWA, the fucking riots. I mean, I could go on.
Riots? Oh, fuck yeah.
Which the
you weren't alive at that time, I don't think. Were you?
Yeah.
I don't want to give my age.
As you seductively, like,
Tim, I'm sorry, we can't claim.
It is a popsicle.
We can't claim OJ for one simple reason. He actually did it. Now the talk around him was racist, but like, the OJ.
ChillMonger, you gotta stop turning me on, please, please. Just.
Do I got to do this the whole time I'm licking?
Oh no! Yes, yes, please, please.
It had to be white, huh?
You know what? So I just wanted to point something out. You know what's crazy here? Tonight, I'm very proud. We have a diverse panel here. We have a very diverse panel.
We do?
3 white guys and a black
No, but hold on, Zod.
I was wondering how he's going to break it down. He's going to be like, well, he's the alien from Krypton. Justin is the Pride representative. And then I'm just being erased because I'm ginger.
I was going to say this. When I was getting this thing, you're talking about you being in New York, right? Won't the police department already have a reputation there for their racist arrest, stop and frisk, just the culture there from the beginning? If I hear that the New York police arrested somebody and it's Jonathan Majors, I'm automatically gonna go there. Now, of course, we also have some supporting claims from Jonathan that got us there, of course, but it's automatically there. It's ingrained. So when I hear someone says you're playing the race card, or why are you including that? You're just trying to win your case. That's dirty. It's not really like that. You're just trying your best to get anything out there to make people be convinced. You're trying to win people over. I just don't see it that way. I actually think it's the New York Police Department. It was racial.
Yeah,
I mean,
like in this instance, like, the lack of any other angle to play, because you're just sitting there thinking of all the explanations of, well, why are you railing against this guy when you have all of the evidence that you have? Like, why are you continuing to do it? Because we can understand, everybody understands in the moment. They're like, oh, well, she got broken fingers, she got cut on her ear, boom. We talked her into saying that you fucking choked her, so let's go to jail. Like, they didn't necessarily care who he was at that point, but now that you're like into it and you've seen everything, what's the reason for continuing on?
And
melanin count?
And you know, it's very strange, you know, hearing about that. But I'm sorry, I got distracted by the popsicle again.
God damn it! This is why we don't let Justin out of the fucking basement. I swear to God. Every time we let him out of the basement, he just.
Okay, I got to do this in solidarity.
So Tim Talks, which by the way, go check out Tim Talk, aka we know you're Adam Driver. Stop fucking denying it, okay? We're friends with Adam Driver. We need this. This is a fucking good.
First of all, you did not say his channel name correctly because you said Tim Talks, and it's Tim's Talk.
Sorry,
so,
Tim's Talk. Go check out Tim's Talk because.
What's up, Sophia?
Hey, Sophia. We are talking
this
about.
This is your favorite late night show that you'll ever watch. That's what this is.
Yes, and we are talking about the Jonathan Majors situation with our special guest, ChillMonger. And we're breaking down why.
All right. I guess I'm not special. And well, that's a good thing. This is the first time I haven't been called that. Oh.
Dude.
You hear all the time.
You're like a fixture in the fandom zone. You're like one of the originals. Basically, when we started this, and Stevie's been kidnapped by kangaroos, but you're
now you say kidnapped by kangaroos, and I think he's being held hostage by the emus.
Those fucking emus. Anyways, hey, no. Australia lost a lot of lives in the emu war.
Anyways, you had something to say, I guess.
Oh yeah. So like I was saying.
Right.
So like
big mistake I've made. Sorry.
This is one of those cases where I feel like addressing the race issue is important because I grew up in New York, and I can tell you right now, I would walk down the street, not drive, because in New York you're fucking nuts if you have a car. Not drive, just walking with my friends who weren't doing a goddamn thing. We weren't smoking weed. We weren't selling anything. We did live downstairs from 2 drug dealers. That's a story for
It's
another
hard
day.
to
But
smoke
anyway,
weed when you're imaginary, but
I mean, we didn't do anything illegal. But I remember one day walking down the street with a
see you
person who
later,
was like a
Tim.
brother. See you later, Tim. Person who was like my brother. His name was I can't say because fuck, it's YouTube. But anyways,
Yeah, you forgot.
I almost forgot there.
His
What
brother Gary Zod.
Gary
But this
Zod.
other person had darker skin and he was treated poorly from the cops.
Yes, we were literally pulled over. And I say pulled over because they pulled the car over. They got out and they searched us and asked us a bunch of questions. They didn't take us in or nothing, but just fucking grilled us. And all we were doing was walking. And that's
Well,
when
you
I
see,
realized.
there was a percentage chance that he had a criminal record and he was out and he was supposed to turn himself. So they needed your identification just to make sure, because statistically speaking, there was like a 10% chance that this would have went the proper for him.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, man,
10%.
it was a night. It was at night, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, man. The criminals are out at night, and if he could properly identify and bring him in, he would get a pat on the back from the police chief and everything. That's what. So that they didn't care so much about humanizing this random guy who was just minding his own business, walking with his white friend. Nope, they said.
Well, I was just gonna say, I'm surprised that they didn't separate you and ask you if you were okay.
Let me just say their questions towards me were more lenient. And here's the fucking hilarious thing. I'm 50% Puerto Rican, but I'm 50% Irish. So
well,
one side works for me more than the other.
Rican, but you look 100% Irish.
Well, sometimes when you're just roaming the countryside, there would be these cops that just come up to you and they just badger you for no apparent reason. These fucking cocksuckers, I'm trying to get myself a good Mickey, get a little bit blasted.
You're trying to get to the tracksuit store, I know. You gotta make sure you got a fresh, nice tracksuit, pressed. It's good stuff.
But yes, Chill, and you want to hear the irony about it, Chill, the irony of the whole thing? Right now, this person is a lawyer. They went to law school and everything else, and as a matter of fact, they were applying to colleges. They got into a pretty high-end college in New York, and they wind up becoming a lawyer.
Well, you're not saying if it's a he or she. You said they became a lawyer, so you're really trying to not release. Right?
Well, no. Maybe they don't know
because of what my friend does. I don't want to just give away our story without.
Sounds like they are a lawyer.
Yeah, they are a lawyer. They have a white wife with 2 beautiful kids.
Well, now you just okay. So
the white community treats them very suspiciously like one of their own. So I have seen how the system
very suspiciously is one of their own.
Yeah,
is this like one of those situations where he needs to get out?
Yeah, if you go from when we were kids to now, that same bullshit happened. Oh, that cop who pulled him over will lose his fucking job and be fucking because of the.
I mean, I'd like to believe that, but this random person that you're talking about isn't Jonathan Majors, and this is still fucking happening.
I mean, there is that coin. There is that coin toss.
You should use your celebrity to get out of stuff. But it's like you know the person, and you can actively look at pretty much their entire life for how many ever years he's been in the public eye. You just look back, look back, look back, look back. And it's like, okay, where is the history of this behavior that you're talking about? Oh, because there was an investigation? Okay, well, that don't mean anything to me. When there's a conclusion, then come back and tell me what's going on. But until that point, I don't give a shit. And if we're talking about, like Chill said, this one fucking instance, how in the fuck are they still stuck on this? There is an explanation.
Starts with an R.
Yeah.
And this is why I was so intrigued, because it's like Hollywood always screams about, and I'm rounding it back to the Disney angle now, because That's why I've had the Marvels and everything else, right? Now, you would think, yes, this is risky, but what is more charitable? What shows your goal to change, right? Than backing your fucking man who is, as far as you know, because Disney knows all the same shit we do, they probably know more, right? So I'm sure they're well aware that there is not as much evidence as you would think, but yet they're still in this corner of not defending their person. I think PR wise, it would look better if you say, you know what? We're standing behind Jonathan Majors. This is play the race card. Play it now. See, they like to play it in the movies. Play the race card now. Go. If I was Disney, I'd be like, look at this black man being prosecuted clearly because he's black.
Yeah.
And this would be the time to play that. But what is Disney doing? They're backing things up. There's no word if he's going to continue.
But they haven't fired him either. Give him that.
Okay, that's because I believe, like, to tie it back to months ago, they may have learned a lesson from what happened with Johnny Depp, where they're like, okay, if we just ride the fence the entire time, we can never be wrong, because they're so worried about being wrong. So if they just ride the fence, they'll be like, wow, he hasn't been convicted or anything. So we can't, like, terminate his contract because he hasn't done anything wrong under his contract.
And according to those contracts, if I remember correctly, the morality clause bullshit, right? It has to be a proven thing, according to them. Because there have been other people in Disney who have just had an accusation and they said, nope, you're gone. But
well, they had different clauses.
Yeah, they were all different.
I'm pretty sure I would bet you at the beginning. Now, I can't guarantee this because obviously it wasn't Disney, it was Paramount. But I would guess that Robert Downey Jr. probably had something in a few contracts with stuff that he's worked on where they said, hey, if there's any allegations of you, like, sniffing around having a good time, like, we're just going to move on. And he was like, don't worry about it. I got it under control. And obviously he does.
But then with Jonathan Majors, I think Disney's in an interesting position. But if I was them, I would go all in because we are just four random people on the internet who could see this total bullshit. And I know the company has all the facts that we do. I say, why not do this to clean up your image? Why not do this and we know Disney is a soulless company, blah, blah, blah. I get that 100 times a day, right? Okay, so then look at it from a soulless corporate perspective. Back this man, and the PR is going to, especially if Disney lays their power behind him and stuff like that, I guarantee you this shit will be dropped. Okay? Disney has an amazing way of making shit. If fucking HBO, Warner Bros. Can fucking make shit on Ezra Miller disappear, then you can't tell me Disney can't do the same shit.
Well, I mean, come on.
They didn't exactly make it disappear, like all know.
But there were a lot of incidences they covered up in Hawaii. It's been fucking. There's a direct link to Warner Bros. They covered some shit up in Hawaii, and videos got leaked, but they covered it up. So you can't tell me Disney can't do the same shit.
How did they cover it up? If they covered it up, it must have been through a see-through blanket because we all saw it.
Well, Variety wasn't really publicly or publishing news, and there's a lot of people that Warner Brothers probably is going to give a whole bunch of exclusives as thank yous for not covering these news items in the future, because Warner Brothers did not want everyone to know that Ezra Miller was on some fuck shit. Disney, they're pretty influential. They're probably going to control all 12 jurors. It's going to be very diverse. They're going to get some Republican-ass small business owners in New York City to be there who are going to lean more towards the men because women be women, and it's going to be women be women, you know. And there's going to be a lot of the jury selection is going to be very key. Now, to get convicted for a misdemeanor, do you need all 12 people to say you're guilty?
Good question.
I mean, I've been watching a lot of lawyer shows, and from what I've gathered, I'm just saying that's TV, but
well, hold on. This comes down to is it if it's a misdemeanor, it must not be a federal misdemeanor. It must be a state misdemeanor, and every state has different laws when it comes to conviction by jury.
And
Some
the
of
state of
them
New
it
York
has to
fucking
be
sucks.
everything. Some of them are okay. You got 12 jurors. If 7 of them say guilty, majority rule. Like some of them do it that way. I don't know how it works in New York.
I think even with majority rule, I think he's got a good chance because again, the finger was fine, the ear was fine. So if they're lying about that, they're also lying about how he twisted her arm, caused pain, and threw her in the back of the car. Actually,
Preferably,
he said in a video or in an article that when she left the car and she went into traffic, he returned her into the car. She's gonna make it out to be, like in the WWE when they put you through one of those elimination games. Holy, that's what they're gonna say. He eliminated her from the Royal Rumble. She tumbled, but reality, if he did put her in the car, no matter how hard he threw her, it's a Cadillac Escalade with plush seating. It's an expensive service. There was no damage to her, not to lacerate her ear or break her finger at least, because again, the video exists with a fine ear, fine finger. She's actually running up his credit card. We wouldn't know that she went to Lucy's nightclub and had that footage if she didn't use his credit card all night long, swiping it up, because she's sloppy. She didn't intend on doing this, going to court for it.
And there's the other angle
I really hope that they press this as far as they possibly can, and everybody sees what they're doing, and all of the repercussions come back on the people who are wasting the time and money doing this.
So who do you sue first, the police or the DA or the judge?
Ooh.
Me personally, I would go after the DA or the judge, because New York Police Department has been sued so many times, and I gotta say it's fucking Teflon. Good luck. Here's the reality. They got so many fucking high-powered people in their pocket. This shit is just another thing that go on the top of the pile. You want to go for something that's gonna hurt. You talk judges, DA, that kind of high level. Those people don't want to get dinged that far up. That's like supposed to be the untouchable level. So if I was him, I'd go after the fucking DA, because they've been pushing it the hardest, and I'd go after the judge as well.
I disagree, because I think you have to get the DA only after you have the police, because when you're presenting your court case about the DA, you want to be able to say, look, that woman already has charges against her. The police already, we beat them. So now we're coming after the DA for even furthering this stuff when it was clearly, according to 2 separate juries, it was clear that this case should have been dismissed. And that is a mishandling of your power. And District Attorney Alvin Bragg, you're going down.
I'd go after the DA first, because the police just and this is how they look at it, they just processed the paperwork. The people who pushed it, though, who brought it to that level, was the DA, because even after she was charged, the DA interfered with that. So now you've got something where they not only pushed through this case with very sketchy evidence at best, they also torpedoed his claim, which had some merit. They didn't even fucking look at it. The charges were dismissed the next day. That article is from October 25th. They dismissed it 26th. I mean, come on. If that's for me, it's the police, you can only get to a point, because you could prove there's some kind of racist cops that can go after those individual cops, but the department, as far as the people will see, were just doing their job and following up on a claim and going through the legal procedures. But where you get into the fine points, where you get into the points that are going to matter, where people get jail time, is when you take it to court. And the people that are heading it up, those are the people who have all the critical information, because what does both sides have to do? They have to give each other evidence, right? They have to share it, which means they have the same evidence. They have the same witnesses. They have the same statements. By law, they have to do that, which means you had the evidence, you had the counter evidence, you had all the statements, and still chose to proceed. On what grounds?
Oh, there's more, Zod. That video I showed you on the sidewalk where he walks right past her. While the district attorney did share that evidence with the defense of Jonathan Majors, they threw that in 2 terabytes on a hard drive, and they said, find it. It wasn't flagged. And they sat on this evidence for 4 months before finally sharing it.
Because I remember when we were talking about, I'm like, what the fuck is going on with the evidence? Nothing was getting released, which makes me even more suspicious about the whole thing, because it's like, obviously one side or the other is trying to block this evidence, and my money is on the side that wants to win, and of course that's the DA.
Yep.
So they're doing, and don't get me wrong, these are all legal. You could legally bind evidence for fucking ever if you play your cards right.
Okay, well, what you just said is terrifying. The fact that the DA and a prosecutor, all they care about is winning.
I mean, at the end of the day, isn't that what it's about, right? It's about
no, it's not what it's supposed to be about as a prosecutor. It's supposed to be about serving justice properly. It's not supposed to be about winning. Like all you're supposed to do as a prosecutor is say, this is the potential crime that's been committed. Here's the evidence. Now you people decide whether or not this person is guilty. That's what a prosecutor is supposed to do. Not be like, okay, well, we're going to fuck around with some evidence so that we know what's going on, and they don't really know what's going on, but they think that they do. So they're going to concoct this story, and then we're going to throw this other piece at them and be like, well, you had it the whole time.
Yo, man, I've watched Suits. I see how this shit goes, and then watching how this case makes me think that show had a lot of fucking things right, because one of the plays that I watched, even in that show, was them. It's not that you're not giving evidence, it's that you're making excuses, or you got to have an analyst look at it, or there's a backlog, or, oh, we just got a new document that might coincide with this. Oh, we got to wait a week and make sure this is authentic. It's not illegal, but it straddles that fine line. And let's not be idealistic here. We all know what is in the mind of both opposing sides. That's winning the case. Proving who's innocent or not just comes secondary. That's the cherry on top. Like, if your guy wins, you're like, good day. But in their mind, they want to win. And it's sad, because it should be about justice. The fucking lady is blind. But that's not how it's played out. It's about who will do what it takes to win. And the DA is playing dirty.
She's quite obviously taking the blindfold off and was like, how come I can only see your teeth? Guilty.
The lights were off. They couldn't see the defendant.
Yeah. It's fucked up, man. Oh my god.
But I mean, chill. I mean, I'm looking at this from a realistic lens. Like, I'm not trying to be an asshole here, but that's what it comes down to at the end of the day, right? They don't give a shit about who they're dragging through the mud. And I'm sure for this guy, it's not even fucking personal. It's the fact that a win is a win. Like, even just, and I know I'm referencing the show again, but it's a good point of reference. Like in this show I watch, Billions, right? There's my favorite character, Chuck Rhodes, played by Paul Giamatti. He goes up against this guy, Axelrod, played by Damon Lewis, who's this hedge fund banker. He tries all the legal ways, right? He subpoenas, he fucking grills the top guys, can't get any of them to flip, whatever else. Well, in the last episode, he looks through his wife's laptop. Now, he knows it's inadmissible because his wife is a therapist for these guys. So in court, you can't use therapist. No. But what you can do is look at the session and see that there was a gun charge that was swept under the rug and go after that. So he's not going in, he's using the information he got to manipulate the system to make it look like a justifiable bust. And that, to me, is very familiar to what's going on now. You don't have to, you just have to drag his reputation through the mud, get the people out of his corner, suppress it from people like us who are trying to get information so we can't put it out there, right? Drag things out and make him look bad by proxy to where people are just making him guilty in their mind before they see the evidence.
What sucks is you gotta live with that.
Okay, so like, if it comes down to just winning, was this whole thing like he has no idea? He sees the name Jonathan Majors, no idea who it is. He's like, random freaking guy. But he sees the pictures and he goes, oh, big black man, tiny blonde girl. Easy win, right?
And if you
that's terrifying.
And if you think that they don't know he's famous, what is the highest fucking the highest bar but then to take down someone with this much fame, who's in Marvel, which is pretty fucking huge that everybody knows. Can you imagine the ticket you can write in a DA's office if you took down fucking Jonathan Majors? At that point, I'm thinking he doesn't give a fuck about the evidence. He doesn't care. And it's probably not even a white or black thing at that point. It's he's a celebrity, and if I take this guy down, how much fucking cred does that get? That's getting you to judge all sorts of shit. I'm saying there's a bigger
that's well,
you
parlay
think
that
there's
into
a
a
bigger
bigger story.
conspiracy to it?
What did you say? What did you say?
Is there a bigger conspiracy to it? Are you saying that?
Oh fuck yeah! Are you telling me that? Are you telling me that to take down a famous person and get that win, you aren't going to do dirty shit? There isn't people involved who want to see it happen.
Well, I think ChillMonger had a lot to say about that. Whenever he unmutes his mic, that's like he has something to say. So I think.
But I wait though. I always wait for someone to finish the sentence.
Yeah, I know, but I think. Go ahead.
I forget what I was gonna say. I was distracted by Tim's talk because he said, "Look what happened to Johnny Depp," except he didn't spell Depp correctly.
Depp, yeah. The depth of it, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Look, high profile case and all that, fine. But what's the repercussions though? The Johnny Depp case, it went the wrong way.
You even call it Johnny Depp?
No, I do mean Johnny Depp right now. Now I'm talking about Johnny Depp. So Amber Heard, she lost. Who is her attorney? Did she lose anything? Did she lose points? If she won the case, she would have been raised and elevated. But because she lost the case, it's not like no one's going to hire her anymore. She's still that big lawyer who was on TV. Oh, I saw all the TikToks with you on. So she still gains,
I mean, she will gain.
Well, anyone who takes up.
But do you think the next Amber Heard's going to go to that law firm based on that performance that we all saw live? And that's the big thing. Nobody gives a fuck about the normal person. That's not going to bring you the big money. And look, I'm being fucking realistic here because this is the world. I'm just showing you guys. This is the world they live in. They don't give a fuck that the little guy will now hire them. They want the whales to hire them. And a whale is not going to hire you if you lost a big case, especially spectacularly like they did. Yes, you're right. The average Joe saw her on TikTok and they'll be like, yeah, I can afford her. I bet you her rate is fucking $1,000 just to fucking get her in the room with you.
It is now.
So, I mean.
Yeah. I mean, she doesn't have anything to lose, everything to gain. And that's how.
But reputation is just as important as anything else, especially in that business. You are built by your reputation. You are built by your wins and not your losses. See, the funny part is you could go to any law firm, right, and all their biggest clients, all their biggest wins. But the thing that haunts them? It's the loss because that's the hit they took. The loss always stings more. It's always remembered more. People don't fucking remember the person who lost the OJ case. Who did they remember? They remember Johnny Cochran. And he's been dead for fucking how long? And if you say the name Johnny, and even the Kardashians rode that fucking horse because their father was a fucking decent man, and they're a bunch of scumbags. But what most people don't realize, he dropped out at the beginning of the case, but still. They got the fame. Everybody by proxy who won that case got the fame. So in the history books, they're always going to go down as the winner.
Well, if Jonathan loses this case, he's done. His career's over. If he wins, he will remain the Marvel actor. But there's still some people going, how the hell did he manage to get away with it? Because I read Rolling Stones, and allegedly he had abuse victims, 40 of them.
Of course he did.
They were all anonymous, but I read it in Rolling Stones.
Rolling Stones was I would never wipe my ass with Rolling Stones, but Rolling Stones is a big pile of shit. They've been for years. But the funny part about that is that we hear the same thing every fucking time this comes up. The dude who voices Brawley for DBZ, right? I can never say his last name.
We'll just call him Vic.
Big Vic, right? They tried to accuse him because he hugged somebody at a fucking Comic-Con, and a journalist took a picture and said
Yep.
it was unwanted. And you remember this, PB, when the
Oh,
person
yeah.
who took the picture was excited. They were fucking happy. And he got
Right.
kicked off the DBZ for sexual harassment to his
Like,
fans.
look
And
at
he's
all
the
of
nicest
these
fucking man.
Look at all these pictures that he takes, and he's giving out all these hugs. And we're like, okay, so we start looking through the pictures, and I was like, happy as
And
a
it was
clam,
like this.
happy as a clam, happy as a clam. And I was like, what in the fuck are they talking about?
And everybody who was on the show, all of the people involved, fucking outcasted him. All the English voice actors, of course.
Yeah, the only one that I remember specifically is whoever does Bulma's voice was like, oh yeah, he's super inappropriate with me.
Oh yeah, he was always inappropriate to me, and I always just had a bad.
Hold on, wait. That sounds valid. Like if she was saying the pictures are wrong, fine. But she's saying I was being felt inappropriately by him.
No, the paper said she was being inappropriately felt, but she never said that. They editorialized it
until after.
Okay. Yeah, that's just ridiculous.
And that is the same thing. That's the same thing that's happening to Jonathan Majors, right? 40 people. You're telling me 40 fucking people? I can buy one, maybe two people who didn't come forward, but 40? Really? 40 different personalities, 40 different people. Statistically, that doesn't even make sense. That someone wouldn't come forward.
I mean, if they really felt that way, it must have been kept very under wraps. You know, I think, and that's the thing that really bothers me about these things is that I've been in workplace environments where that really was going on, and these instances are just, you know, whether because it is alleged and it is going to trial, we'll see what happens. But regardless, if these turn out to be false, whatever this is, honestly, you know, it's just going to cause more damage than is, and it's going to dissuade people from coming forward in general. And I've seen that in real life where, you know, it took, you know, we have regular, you know, sexual harassment trainings or whatever, or like little videos to show like these kind of instances are not okay. And for a lot of women in my workplace specifically, they were like, oh, I think that's my manager. And he was fired because of that, because women came forward realizing like these are all the key signs. So, you know, it is, you know, it's a real thing and it's very sad. And it's just going to dissuade people from ever feeling like they have a voice.
It makes it less likely for you to be believed or for us to believe the next situation because Jonathan's going to win this and he's innocent.
And the sad part is
it's a bad example. It sets a bad precedent and a bad example.
The sad part is we saw this with the JD case too, because and there are people who are on my stream right now and I've gotten a chance to talk to wonderful people, and they've been victims of domestic violence, and they all universally bonded against Amber Heard. These were people who didn't even know about the Johnny Depp situation coming forward and saying it was bullshit, because victims recognize people who have been victims. You get that feeling, you just know, and you can look at someone and know when they're bullshitting. And it's really sad because even me, myself, in my childhood, I went through a traumatic situation with that kind of stuff, with SA. And it sticks with you. Like, on top of my military stuff, I've had nightmares and shit that's happened. I still wake up and have shit happen like in my head, and it never goes away. So when you see somebody who's making these claims and you look into their eyes, and there's just something about looking into their eyes, and you can see the brokenness, you can see the pain, you can see what happened to them, even if they don't show it. And you know, it's the fucking victims are the ones who are going to get fucked over by these cases.
She's only mad because Jonathan's dating Megan Good, and she wants.
That's who that is.
That's an upgrade.
When they were on the phone that day, when they were fighting over, they were fighting over him getting a text in the back of the car that said, "I wish I was kissing you," and I'm sure now that it was Megan Good who sent him that text. So she's all fighting him and doing everything to get that phone, and look, she pulled her statements and she was like, "I recant," and she probably wanted to, salvage the relationship. She was in a suicidal state and all that stuff. All right, but like a few weeks later, when it was clear and there was video of like Jonathan and Megan on a date, then she was like, okay, fine. I guess the breakup is complete. There's no way of getting him back. He actually did hurt me. And that's when she starts playing ball with the prosecution.
Yeah, it's all very, and the sad part is,
Megan Good is worth it.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah,
I think when I'm getting a good picture of what this is. Then when you say ChillMonger, her playing ball, because there's a reason why some guys like to see other women. It's because they're fulfilling something that is not being done by the person that they think they're in love with. And if I'm being perfectly honest, all you have to do is suck his dick every now and then, and none of this would have happened. None of this would have happened.
Well, I mean, you can say that, but Megan Good was still out there. So,
I mean, I'm just saying.
You see what this? She's some fugly.
That's not my point. That's not my point. It's just.
Oh, it's my point.
You have to, put in an effort, I guess. Is what I'm trying to say. You can't.
I've been with Bitchy, and I love her to death, and there's nobody who could tear me away. But Brie Larson walks in this room and was like, "Zod." Remember that workout video? I'm gonna be like,
I got something you can work out.
These Infinity Stones.
Hey, my car isn't working. Can you push it? Can you push it up a hill, please? I would really appreciate that. You're a superhero, right?
Ugh.
You bragged about this.
What's going on that show?
Well, he asked me what I was drinking in the comments. This is water.
Oh.
And then this is coffee, but I'm out of both. So no more drinks. How much longer are we going for?
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
I am on my my very last bit of news.
So another hour?
No, this is only going to be. So I just wanted to bring this up because it kind of all comes full circle. So my favorite Flash, Grant Gustin, he says, "I'm not going to take that phone, or I'm gonna take my phone."
ChillMonger is gone.
This fucker is drunk. Let me read it. It says, quote, "I'm gonna take that phone call."
Sorry.
Unlike Johnny Depp's refusal to return as Jack Sparrow, Grant Gustin will return as the Flash under one condition.
$1 million llamas?
What?
Remember the alpaca line that he had that Johnny Depp said?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, what a fucking legend. So
it can't be that expensive.
The Flash was arguably the crown jewel of the CW's Arrowverse, so that's arguable. I'd say Arrow, but yeah, I'd say Arrow. But
fucking Arrowverse.
It's literally called the Arrowverse, but everybody fucking forgot that the Flash came from Arrow. So this is DC nerd shit.
Like the Flash is so fast, he got shot in the back by an arrow. Get it together.
I mean, I took an arrow to the knee, but he took. Yeah, that's the end of my stupid joke.
So here's the part I wanted to get through. Will Grant Gustin return as the Flash? We fucking hope so, and we hope that he takes out Ezra Miller. Because fuck him. I do not retract that statement. Fuck Ezra Miller. Still haven't seen the Flash movie. You can eat a dick. I hate you. Anyways.
Wow, that was really mean.
Fuck him. What he did to that innocent fucking girl was mean. What he did to those people choking and robbing them was mean. And the fact that he still has a fucking job is a travesty. Him, Alec Baldwin.
I don't think he has one anymore, but I think
they all need to be rounded up and fucking shot in the face.
How about this? They're not going to rehire him.
When asked about whether he would be open to suiting up as the Flash again, Gustin with enthusiastic. Gustin was enthusiastic with his answer to Us Magazine. He said,
"No, my name is Justin."
There's always gotta be one.
I'm sorry.
You gotta read the quote. There you go.
I can't wrap my head around it right now, obviously. But if someone called me today or tomorrow and was like, "Hey, we have this amazing Flash idea," obviously, it's like, I'm gonna take the phone call and listen to that idea. Gustin further explained his position on returning as the Flash, saying that he had a feeling that he would be associated with the character whether he returned or not. No doubt, Barry Allen is Gustin's most iconic role, despite his time on other TV series Glee, which nobody fucking remembers.
Nope.
Good move.
He was on there?
Yeah, he was. I watched Glee. I just watched it for the
I saw the first season.
So, yeah, he was on there. I forgot what season. The Flash star said he would also be open to listening to any Flash pitch and will also do so because of how close the character is to him. Fans are definitely not complaining about this, having adored the actor playing Barry Allen since his first appearance in Arrow Season 2. So just basically the gist of it is he said he would be more unlikely. The magazine spins it as they always do and said, "Oh, he's more likely than Johnny Depp." Now, these fucking idiots. Here's the difference. Grant Gustin got his full series run. He got the accolades. He didn't get ceremonious or unceremoniously kicked off of his show, accused of shit he didn't do, and then get a fucking fruit basket and our bad, you want to come back? Like, these are two very different situations. As a matter of fact, the DC community has been yelling very loudly, kick Ezra Miller out and put him in. He's perfect. He does the character justice. Who gives a fuck if he was in the television show? And this is the stigma Hollywood has. Oh, a television actor can't do a fucking leading movie role.
Oh my god!
Stupid. But let's hire this pro wrestler, John Cena. Get in here.
Yeah, to do
a television star, by the way.
John Cena.
Because there's this stigma.
But I like that fireman movie. What's that fireman movie he did?
Oh, that horrible one.
I don't know.
It was hilarious.
It was Stop Something.
I know. It's the three kids up in the mountain.
Yeah, he was like a fire chief or something.
Was the fireman movie Stop, Drop, and Roll?
That would be funny if it was. But
that lead. Go ahead, Zod.
But my point is that there is this stigma that's been in Hollywood, and there's a great show on Amazon called Hunters that has fucking Al Pacino in it, and they hunt Nazis. It's a great fucking show if you have a chance. I'm watching the last season, but Al Pacino wouldn't do television for years because there was this stigma that once you went on television, it was the end of your career. Like you were coming to the end, or you came from television and broke in like George Clooney. And people forget George was on a fucking television show, and now he's won fucking Oscars. So this is
ER, which is a very long. It was a long-running show.
Oh Jesus Christ!
After he was done.
Yeah. So this is the stigma, and it still persists. And this bullshit article proves it. They want Ezra Miller because he's acted in other movies. He did one fucking good movie in all of his life. I
He
forget
did?
the name of it.
Oh,
Yeah,
we have to talk about Kevin.
yeah, we have to talk about Kevin, which was based on a true story. It is fucking horrifying. If you have a chance, like that's one good movie right up
Pass.
his alley.
Pass.
He only has to have the
I'm
same.
gonna accept because
Wait
It
a
was-
second. Wait a second. Hold on. I gotta ask a follow-up question. Does this movie with Ezra Miller also have Batman in it?
yes.
Oh, well, then I'll check it out.
There we go.
There we go. Playing with fire. There we go. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Look at that, Graves.
I actually have something to add to that. The whole stigma about television actors.
Yeah,
My
movie is
dad,
funny.
who clearly loved Wonder Woman and loved Linda Carter, always apparently he told me that all his life he wanted to see a Wonder Woman movie, and he finally got it. And for Father's Day, he said to me, "Son, we're gonna go see a movie. I know you don't like superhero movies, but I always wanted to see a Wonder Woman movie. You're coming with me because you like movies. We're gonna go." And I watched it, and I actually really liked it. I was a big fan, and I kind of got where my dad was coming from when I watched a few episodes of the original Wonder Woman with Linda Carter, and also going to Vegas multiple times and seeing all those slot machines, and she's so sexy. I see why. I see why he wanted to see a Linda Carter Wonder Woman movie, and I imagine a lot of people also wanted to see a live action movie with Linda Carter as Wonder Woman and a Lou Ferrigno Hulk movie with a big budget. How cool would that have been back in the day? Like that, those kind of things. And it just gave me that sort of perspective that like what Hollywood thinks people want isn't aligned with it, because they're always just so out of touch. They don't interact with normal people, so they are not in touch with what people really want. Especially back then, they really didn't get it.
Like,
because how awesome would it have been?
Choice,
even if it sucked, at least they tried. That's the whole thing.
And look what streaming now is. We can equate though, even streaming shows, they're basically fucking mini movies with the production value. You can't put stock in saying anymore that television doesn't translate to the big screen, because how many shows have we seen on streaming networks that look better than actual movies
lately?
I mean, yeah, they're high quality. People are putting in real acting work. Dude, that One Piece was fucking amazing. I was like, and I'm always 50-50 with Netflix, but like if you never watched oh my god. It's one of the greatest animes of all time.
It is the highest grossing, and you dare say One Piece of what? It is called One Piece, sir.
Thank you, Joe.
It's called One Piece, sir. Okay, One Piece, sir is. It's just called One Piece, sir. Okay.
PB, go back to sleep.
So, my whole point with bringing up this article is I think that Ezra Miller right now is a bad look. It's been proven with the box office. They need to fucking kick him out and put Grant in there. I think it would be a switch that the fans would actually be excited for. Because even if you don't like the Flash show, and let me tell you, after season 3, it's a hit or miss. But it was not.
So I looked up One Piece, sir, and I'm getting crocodile.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say something X-rated.
Oh my god, that's what I thought he was going towards too. I was like, oh my god, here
Crocodile Desert King Sir Crocodile is the former president of the mysterious crime syndicate. What the heck is this?
Yeah, that's Barry.
What is this One Piece Sir stuff? That seems like a whole series within itself. I don't know,
dude. I'm sorry, but
age 33.
There's some people who.
He's 33.
Yes.
Yeah, there's some people.
Who is this guy?
He plays
Flash.
He plays Barry Allen on CW's The Flash.
No,
It was the last show to drop.
Stop. You ain't gotta. Don't caveat like that. You can just say that's the Flash.
He is the Flash, basically. Look at how he even looks in his suit. Tell me, when you saw that scene where Ezra Miller, there was a crossover and Ezra Miller appeared in the Flash. If you look at them together, who looks more official? I mean, the suit is kind of iffy, but that's the old school suit. But
no,
who looks better as the Flash? Look at that side by side.
I never liked Ezra's suit.
I like personally,
it's way
personally
too,
I like the CW suit.
It gives me too many Iron Man vibes. Like the whole point of Flash is to be sleek, and he's got all of these lines that you would think would create drag.
How come Grant Gustin wasn't the gay one?
Huh?
I mean, I don't know. I fucking have to ask him. Like, look who Chill. Who do you think looks better in that picture?
Well, he's the cuter one. He's the more sane one.
There's too much going on the left side, so the Flash on the right, which I know is Grant, is the better one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It looks too much like the Iron Man suit. You know what I mean? It's just like that doesn't. Why does everything have to be robotic? Just wear spandex and your superpowers are going to protect you. It's just whatever.
The suit isn't.
That's how it used to be, I guess.
It's not. The suit isn't just spandex, but whatever.
It is just spandex, but whatever.
But anyways, I wanted to end on
the TV show, but
I wanted to start to wrap this up because I do want to.
Because ChillMonger said he was leaving in 4 minutes.
Yep,
I wrote that in a private chat.
And I also wanted to kind of wrap this out on a high note, on a hopeful note that maybe Ezra Miller will trip and fall on set and break every bone in his body, and then Grant could step in. And fuck you, I don't regret saying it. I mean it. Ezra, I hate you. I hope fucking terrible things come to you. This is not the views of anybody on this panel. This is my personal views. You're a piece of shit, though.
Also, beyond repair.
Go and buy this book.
Oh, before we go, PB, can you tell us who wrote this book? Is it someone you know?
It is someone you know and someone that you want to support because it's somebody who has a rational opinion, unlike the man above me. And that is Books by Jay. She made another book called Megara's Discord. And it's about fucking Hercules.
So if you guys want to see or read an awesome romance novel that's got some edge to it, go and check out this book by Books by Jay. She is a dear friend, part of the Fandom Zone, and hell of a writer. And Jay, this is a plug for you. So hopefully when you want to watch this one goes out to you. We are proud and just a great accomplishment to be able to publish this and get it out for everybody to see. This part
you can get it on Kindle, or you can get the paperback edition. Both available on Amazon. And because we're super professional here, it's not in the chat, and it's not in the description. It's not anywhere, but you'll find it.
Yes. But Books by Jay's channel and everybody who appeared today is in the link in the description. Go check them out. Go support them. Before we go, everybody give a quick plug, and then I'm going to get the fuck out of here. So first, we're going to start with the most improper person. I used to plug that this week he's got something coming up. Apparently, he never will. We never will. I won't get any more bullshit in my week.
I think you're forgetting something. I need to do a rapid fire.
Oh my goodness.
No, you were
so before I do that, why don't everyone else plug their channel and then we do the rapid fire? Just for fun. Just for fun, even though I was here the whole time. Everyone else plug their channels and then
subscribe to ChillMonger. I cover Jonathan Majors extensively. I'm not even going to fake it anymore. That's just going to be good. Like that. I'm going to play the game. The algorithm has never been kind to me. I will milk it. And I do believe in November and December ads like increase and stuff because Christmas ads are just a thing.
Sure.
So I'm going to do what it takes to make money. ChillMonger is the Jonathan Majors hub. Hey, while we were talking here at midnight, I posted a video about Jonathan Majors. So Yeah, check it out. If you ever see me like looking off screen, it's because I'm getting the right thumbnail. I'm figuring things out.
I do like the fact that you stick around, because when Perp does that, he's like, I gotta leave for 20 minutes.
And then he comes back, and we see he dropped 15 new videos.
Yeah, then he comes back, and then he's like, okay, I just released a video.
See, it's funny because he uses it like singular, but I've literally seen him go, I'll be right back. 20 minutes go by, and then he's got 3 new reviews that he just posted. And it'll be like, oh yeah, I just did this movie, and this movie because I fucking saw 3 because I'm like a billionaire and I don't know how the fuck he sees all these movies and reviews them.
We got an idea of how.
And of course, Justin Proper.
No, PB has to go next.
Oh my god, he's just retarded. Yeah, I'm Pop Culture PB. I don't do hardly anything on YouTube because I'm not the hub of anything. But you can go watch some funny shit on my channel.
And of course, I've got my top 10 list coming out. I'm going to do my top 10 worst Halloween movies and my top 10 favorite Halloween movies of this year. That is going to be coming out October 29th. So check that out. And also, I'm going to be doing a couple of reviews. There may be a surprise review with a certain unicorn because she's super excited. She's a super fan of Five Nights at Freddy's. So we're going to go together, and she is going to do a joint review with me because
joint review.
Yeah, we might be a little bit high. But because she knows all the lore and stuff, and I went down a deep, dark rabbit hole. Let me just tell you, it's not just a theory. It's a game theory.
Oh, no.
If you followed Five Nights at Freddy, you know who I'm talking about. The only person to go to get the complete lore of Five Nights at Freddy's. He literally has a 5-hour video that says the complete lore of Five Nights at Freddy's from like when it first started to now. Great video, by the way. And so yes, Justin, rapid fire super quick so I can fucking close this shit out.
Yes.
So
that'll be my plug, I guess.
First one, UFOs mean no harm according to the U.S. official report.
Bullshit.
The Marvels is set to only make 75 to 85 million according to the box office.
That's a little too generous.
Wow.
Considering that it's not even out yet. How does the box office know? No one's gone to see it yet. Technically, it's made 0.
Okay. Jonathan Majors, Accuser, is being arrested for domestic assault charges by the. Hold on. I have to actually pull this one up because it cut off.
Hold on.
He was charged by the New York Police Department, the 10th precinct, to be specific.
Yes, Jonathan Majors, Accuser, charged with domestic assault after surrendering to the NYPD.
I've never been educated on the subject.
Where the fuck? What?
I love these moments. They hear PB's like. And last but not least, I'm going to take the phone call. Unlike Johnny Depp's refusal to return as Jack Sparrow, Grant Gustin will return as the Flash under one condition.
Which is?
Yeah, what was the condition? We never read the condition part. Did we?
And also, who called you Zod? Nobody called you. What is this bullshit?
People call me all the time.
Yeah, they call you
stupid. I'm the general. What do you mean? I get called all the time. I'm a fucking supervillain. My phone is blowing up. Me and Lex just had a fucking meeting. We were talking about locking this shit down.
Your phone got blown
what
up,
he did was lock up your phone and then exploded it, and that's how you ended up with that word salad of a sandwich. Or of a sentence.
Yummy, yummy.
I got a cliche. But anyways, remember Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, all the YouTube things. And remember, here in the Phantom Zone, there is only one rule.
Zod is a racist.
We have to cover